Yes, everyone go and follow No Justice. Everyone go and follow Lexibat, who is Cool Beans. I've said it. It's been said. Where are we? How are we all, chat? By the way, are we doing well? Hopefully you enjoyed our analysis. Oh, there we go. Gay stuff again. There we go. Hello. Back on the YouTubes. Right. Yes, if you're on Twitch, hello Twitcherinos, you can do bits messages and you can subscribe to the channel, etc, etc. If you're on YouTube, new to the YouTube, hello YouTube, you can do bits and subs and all of that jazz. No, you can do what can you do? Super chats, or you can become a member, or you can just hit the subscribe button for fuck all. Fuck all. Oh, hang on, striking Binmen. Let's have a look.
Workers are being undervalued by the council.
100%. There is no value attached to our pay grade for what we do for this city. I don't think some residents from Birmingham as well don't realise the value that we add to their city, and we can see what happens when we're not working with 22,000 tonnes of rubbish lying on the streets and people taking advantage by dumping their rubbish as well. So there is no value at the moment that's been added to our wage structure, and I feel that's something that needs to change as well, not only for the Birmingham Binmen, but in solidarity for the Binmen all across this country.
True.
That they do a
Well, exactly. Like the country survived the fucking investment bankers and the fucking traders and even the MPs and all these other wankers fucking off back home during COVID. The country was fine. If the people who stocked the shelves at the supermarket, or the binmen, or doctors and nurses, if these people don't go to work, the country comes to a grinding, crunching halt. And yeah, we're happy to shit on binmen. We're happy to fuck them over. Fucking evil shit, man. These people are the backbone of the nation. They don't get fucking paid like it, but they are.
Fantastic job, and it's a job that every single resident has a legal right to, and they expect it.
How long do you feel prepared to stay out on strike for?
As long as it takes.
Yeah, well, we started taking action in January because of the downgrade and deletion of a safety critical role, which is the grade 3 worko role. They deleted that role with it's not only a safety role, but it comes with a cost of £6,000 to £8,000 loss for our members, which it was completely unacceptable. And this dispute's been going on for 4 months now. We've been all out strike now for about 8-9 weeks, and now it's come to pass that the drivers are now set it to make a massive pay cut and pay loss of like 8.
Yeah, the council have made it worse this week, so it's not just I forgot the acronym now, but basically the additional workers. They've now decided that an extra 200 drivers are going to get fucked over, so those 200 drivers aren't going out. And so basically the only people collecting rubbish now are the scab labour, for the most part. It's mostly scab fucking private companies that they're hiring to do this. Fucking evil shit. What's this, Doug Authority? You did some satirical writing. I wish they would do their bloody job. Well, wait, don't go. I clear the rubbish, solve the public house project, collectively decide that maybe the new landfill location should be support. I don't know. I suggest we just give in and just let the rats take control of the city. It's the only thing that makes any sense. Hello there, Krista. You are live, by the way.
Oh, hi everyone. How you doing?
Yeah, we are, because I was on with No Justice. We're doing yesterday's question time. So I'm doing a super long stream. It was awful, as always. Naturally. It's British politics, so it's cancerous garbage. How are you? Hang on. I'll tell you what. Right, we'll pretend like we're starting the thing. Right, I'll do the happy hour intro.
Well, no, you have to do what you do off air before we start a show.
Well, I can't be that racist on air.
Okay, just do the bit where you go shut the fuck up.
Okay, well, I've already started and I'm talking over. This is entirely ineffective. I got your back for good.
Yeah, I was just looking up the words to that Blur song 2, because I realized I literally don't know any of the words.
I got my head checked by a jumbo jet. It wasn't easy, but nothing is.
See, this is why I didn't understand it.
And then the woohoo.
And then woohoo! And then he says,
feel heavy metal.
Oh, is that what he says? Yeah, when I feel heavy metal. Yeah.
And I'm pins and I'm needles.
Correct.
Which I think those are and I'm lying, I'm easy all of the time, and I never show how I need you.
Yeah.
But I need you.
Need you. Pleased to meet you is what I
got. Okay. Well, okay, there you go.
Yeah.
Which I presume pins and needles is a reference to the Searchers song.
Oh, I don't know.
Needles and pins. Did that not make it across the Atlantic?
Not that I heard anyway.
You should. It's a fucking belting tune.
Because what I heard was, I got my head checked, doo-doo, doo-doo-doo-doo, by a combone, boo-doo.
What's combone?
Exactly! I have no fucking idea.
Yeah.
It's not my problem. See, I didn't I don't know what I was hearing, but not then is, woo! Yeah, that song made Storm Troopers, the ad for it, fucking awesome.
Yeah.
It really did.
Well, people of my generation and me will recognise that song as the theme tune for the FIFA game France '98, which was an absolute belter.
Wow, that is going into the closet there. You're digging out into the basement now.
Yeah, exactly. That is
the storage areas.
Old school.
Yeah,
shit.
dusty.
Look, that's such an old game that they didn't have the rights to use the players' names, so they were all slightly changed.
Like a copyright proofed homage to that player.
Yeah, exactly. So it'd be like if the name was like, I don't know, Logan, it would be changed to like Hogan or something like that. Yeah.
Different enough to not be sued.
And actually, it's old enough that Aaron Winters, spelt Winters, would have been on that game. So I wonder what they changed his name to.
Oh, right, yeah.
Probably
Winters,
like
huh?
Vinethers or something stupid. Anyway. Yeah, so we're on. We're on. We're on.
Excellent. Well, hello, everyone.
Yeah, hello, Dr. Christy Winters.
Woohoo! Woohoo!
How are you? How are you?
You want the fake version or the honest one?
Either.
Yeah, I'm fine.
What's the honest version?
I am in a caloric deficit, and so I am fucking exhausted.
Have you eaten?
Well, I mean, so here's how I'm doing it. It's not that I'm not eating.
Right.
I am eating between like 18 and 1900 calories a day, but I'm trying to exercise between 600 and 800 calories a day.
Right.
So I find it easier to be able to eat more and then exercise just a little bit more. But I've been doing it for about 3 weeks now. And this is usually when your body starts to go, because your body doesn't like to lose weight. We are genetically programmed to add weight because of starvation. You know, most of human history, starvation has been the problem.
Yes.
So we're very efficient at putting on fat. And it's very difficult to put it off. So when you try to take it off, your body will be just like, we're starving. And like, it'll just take away all your motivation to do anything and all your mental clarity and your will to live, really. So I just spent like an hour lying on the couch, not being able to sleep, but also not being able to do anything. And then my mom called. So I had to that's why I was, as you know, a little bit late. Had to talk to mom for a little bit because, we don't just didn't go, yeah, mom, I gotta go. Well, at least because we only talk like once a week. And she called me, which is normally I call her. So it was very nice that she made the effort. So I was like, I needed an extra 10 minutes just to finish off that conversation. So thank you for waiting.
Fair enough.
Also, the other adventure that happened in my life.
Go on then.
Is that as of Saturday, I went to take a shower and I was waiting for the hot water. It wasn't coming. Run, run, run. Okay, clearly the heater needs to go. Go check the heater. The heater's running. Check the faucet in the kitchen, hot water. Check the one in the bathroom, hot water. Go to the shower, no hot water. No hot water. So I was like, fuck. I can't take a shower. I mean, it's not hot enough yet to take a shower in like tepid to cool water. I would just end up shivering, you know. So what I ended up doing was the next day I went and joined a new gym that has showers, but also a sauna. And I went on Wednesday, one of the days this week. No, maybe it was Tuesday. It doesn't really matter. Got up in the morning, put on my gym stuff, packed everything else, went to the gym, did 30 minutes on the bike. And then I went and laid in the sauna for like 15 minutes. And then I had a shower. And then I got ready. And then I did the 15-minute walk into work. And it was so soul nourishing. It was wonderful. And I did the same today because so it must have been Wednesday because I took Thursday off. And then, yes, so a shower on Wednesday and a shower on Friday. So, because I can't go to the gym every day just to use the shower.
Yeah,
I guess I could. But,
well, you probably could. But
probably, like, I could just check in and then check out like 10 minutes later with wet hair. And they'd be like, what the hell?
Yeah, I woke up a sweat fast. Leave me alone. Yeah, I do smell scenty and fresh.
Yeah,
yes. That's just my natural scent. Leave me alone.
So the plumber is coming tomorrow. So.
Okay. Well, hopefully it turns out to be a porn situation.
Oh yeah, like, oh, I don't know if I have any cash on hand to pay this bill.
Well, why the fuck did you order a plumber then, bitch? I will be seeing you in court. Good day.
So those are that's basically.
Fair enough, yeah.
Yeah. How about yourself? How's your car doing? Is it fixed yet? What's going on with that?
Well, no, the car's dead. I bought I had to buy a different second-hand shithouse car, but it works.
Okay, so you have a different shitty car.
Yeah, basically.
Nice.
Yeah. Thank you, Nick the Peasant, for being a member on YouTube. Much love.
Woohoo! Yay! It's not often that the YouTube's viewers get called out, so. Or at least I don't know they're specifically YouTube one. I always assume that they're Twitch, but hello on YouTube.
Yeah, I think I call that everyone, don't I? I don't
know. You don't necessarily say what platform they're watching.
Well,
you just
exactly.
say the names,
Yeah,
that's
true.
Kind of irrelevant information to most people, except me. Oh.
True. Very true. Yeah, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, I found another animal that is friend-shaped but is not friend.
Wait, let me guess. Let me think. Like a deadly but kind of cute animal. No, brain fog's taken over.
Swan!
Oh, right.
The swan. Elegant, graceful, feathery, cute, right? You see it on the water, looks calm as fuck, but beneath it, it's all flap, 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 flap. Right?
Yep.
Love it. Love it.
Want to do this
Goes for a little swim in that. Doesn't really fly so much as it kind of flaps and then lands 10 feet away, which is like my kind of flying. Really, that's how I would fly, I think. But if you go anywhere near it, and then it'll chase you.
Oh,
absolute wankers! Like I'm just like, because I remember having to walk to from the bus stop to my high school. Through this like public park place, and there was like a little lake bit there, and there were swans on the lake, right? And they were awesome. Oh, they're so amazing. But the thing is, if you even look at them, they will just fucking chase you. And I'm like, I'm just walking past, man. Leave me the fuck alone. I am not a threat to you.
I honestly, I think that if a swan is coming at you and you punch it, that is self-defense.
Yeah.
You did not initiate that. I will totally side with like the idea of a person going up and starting shit with a swan.
What about if you said something to the swan first? Like if you started the beef and then the swan made it physical, is it still self-defense at that point?
I don't know that words. I guess it's different in the UK. Can words provoke reaction? Like if
probably,
someone, yeah. So maybe I guess it depends on what you were saying to this one. Was it a hate? Were you doing a slur? Were you saying that Kenny Reed? Were you?
I did suggest that they were manky. Yes.
Yeah. Manky swans, Kenny Reed. Yeah. Then it could kind of like give you a little bit of a hiss and start to encroach.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
It has a right to defend its turf and its
honor.
honor.
Well, yes. I mean, who wants to be called a manky swan?
No one,
Really?
really.
Exactly.
There's no positive in interpretation of that phrase.
Mm-hmm.
Really. Thank you, Nick the Peasant, with a donation. He says, "Boo,
Ah.
love and appropriate level of touch for both of you." Oh, it's very
Good touch.
respectful. Thank you.
Yeah, good touch.
But as you know, I'm a hoe. You can touch me anywhere. And thank you, Katie Marshall. With I'm going to interpret this as you mean the type of food. And it says, effing Chinese trying to kill me. I presume you mean you were eating Chinese food and you choked on it rather than you have literal ethnic Chinese people trying to murder you. Which, I mean, if that is happening, I don't think I'm the correct authority to be informing about that. I think you should probably ring the police or something.
Don't eat your succulent Chinese meal too quickly and it won't try to kill you.
Well, exactly. Well, apparently in some states that is considered a crime. Get your hand off my penis! Anyway.
Oh my God, Kevin!
What?
I think everything happened. The
what
problem
happened?
with so as I was saying to somebody else, that I don't want to call it an upside, right? But the consequence of living through the rise of authoritarianism / American fascism is that you're never lacking for content.
True, and you've sent me a lot of content. Actually, before you sent me like 10 things today. Before we get off the concept of not the concept of, but the talking about Chinese, and this does actually link to American racism. No, well, Chinese people specifically on this.
Oh, okay.
I suppose this is in lieu of us doing a racist White History People Month bit, right?
Yeah, which we forgot about.
Which we totally forgot about. The Titanic, right?
Yeah.
You think of the Titanic and you think, oh, it's whitoids.
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, in the first class cabin.
Yeah, exactly.
Sports, yeah.
Whereas that wasn't actually the case.
What?
It wasn't just whitoids.
But I watched the movie.
Exactly, and it was just whitoids, right? Mm-hmm. Even if they were Irish whitoids who weren't really considered white at the time. But
they were in the third. They were in the third class.
Well, exactly. Yeah. You literally had more chance of surviving if you're a dog than if you're a third class passenger. That's literally true. There were 3 dogs on board, 2 of which survived, which means they had a massively higher survival rate than the humans in third class. But that's not even the point I was going to go into. There's an amazing story. It's genuinely true, right? There were 8 Chinese people on board, right? 6 of whom survived, which is an amazing statistic in of itself. Including one of the very rare. There were 4 people who survived because one lifeboat went back to pick up survivors, and one of them was one of these Chinese blokes. Anyway, they were from Hong Kong, but they were ethnically Chinese, even though it was a British colony and all that bollocks. Mm-hmm. But because of the Chinese Settlement Act or whatever the fuck it was called, they weren't allowed into the United States.
Oh, you're fucking kidding me.
So even though they survived, these six of the 8 survived, when they got to America, they weren't allowed in, and they were sent. They had to get on a boat and go to Cuba because they literally weren't allowed in. Even after that, you'd it's 6 people, dude. They just survived a fucking hell. You can't even let them in for a week to sort their shit out. What? Fucking hell. That's some crazy... that's a level of racism I can't even fathom. What? How does that happen? Mm-hmm. Mad. So they had to go to Cuba. Although one of them did eventually, after the act was repealed, they did become a American citizen, and he only died in the 80s.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he lived for ages. Yeah, he was 100 or some shit. Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. So I just thought I'd tell you about the piece of racist history I learned about.
Yeah, I was going to say, every major policy in the United States comes back to some kind of racism.
It's racism all the way down.
Yes. It's not turtles all the way down. It's racism all the way down. Literally. One of the things I'm really liking about the qual course that I'm teaching is I have an opportunity to really bring in the value of critical theory. Because
CRT.
No, not critical race theory specifically, just all critical theories.
Right.
So Marxist theory, feminist theory, post-colonial theory, LGBT, queer theory, critical race theory, intersectional theory,
woke,
disability,
DEI wokeness.
It's basically like because especially I know people probably won't like this, but it's inevitable because a lot of students are using ChatGPT, but we used it ethically to like do actual analysis, not use it to write your paper kind of stuff. But the start of the lecture this week was like 6 slides on how AI is trained on texts, and those texts were written by basically privileged people, dominant groups, people with education, people with the permission and the ability to publish, and they have perspectives and ideas, perspectives on the world, and marginalized voices or even other people are, not. If you want to, like, I kind of compared it. I actually did compare it to the Gallic Wars. That if we want to study the Gallic Wars, we don't
with
have
Antony.
With Antony. No, he wasn't part of that, was he? He was part of the Civil War.
I don't care.
But we don't have anything from the perspective of the Gaulish people, or the Gauls.
Yeah, you do. Obtrix and Asterix, or whatever the fuck they were called. Yeah. Asterix and Obelix. There we go.
What we do have is, through the lens of Caesar. That's the closest we get. And, he might be accurate, but we don't know that, right? We don't know where the spin is. And so that's a gap in our, and so basically, like, you have to understand that there are structures built into the AI database, and you have to think outside of it.
You've totally lost me.
So basically, what you're saying is AI can replicate systems of oppression and biases, and treating one group's norms as given and objective.
Presumably that's why Elon supports it then.
And so when we're doing our analysis, we have to be critical when we get our information back and think about whose voices might not be being heard or what perspectives might be missed or absent. So it's just because I get to bang on my critical theory is good drum, because it makes you think more complexly and holistically, and that's what you're supposed to go to university to do, is to learn to think in a more comprehensive way, and in a way to make arguments from different areas, and that kind of stuff.
Communism.
Communism, wokeness. Thinking about things, not just accepting the white Christian, white nationalist. Because they want to replace the Voice of America with OAN, or they want to use OAN. Did you see that?
OAN. No way.
Oh God, Google it.
I know, I believe you. That's just fucking mental.
Yeah,
that's really mental.
There's a proposal. I can look it up here really quick.
What's this? Discord. There was a vote. Okay. Swans. Spicy friend. 1 ahead of not friend shaped, and then friend shaped, and then halberd. Well, that is rough.
Here we go. From May 7th. Yeah, thank you for the survey, I should say. Trump administration will provide programming from conservative network OAN for Voice of America.
I mean, mental.
But it hasn't operated since mid-March because of the funding cuts.
I was about to say, does it even exist anymore? I don't know. Yeah,
so they want to provide its news and video free of charge. So basically funded by whatever fill-in far-right fascist billionaire here.
Yeah.
It's like, I can't even, literally hours go by. Like today I found out Trump dropped the tariffs to China he's talking about now dropping it to 80% from 145%. And he wants to create a new tax bracket where he's charging people who make $2.5 million a year more than they pay right now. So he wants to raise taxes on rich people after telling them just in April of 2024, because I looked it up, we're going to lower your taxes.
Why didn't he literally... That's the only thing he achieved in his first term was cutting their taxes. So why is he now what?
Well, he wants to pay for the tax cuts that that are expiring at the end of this year by raising taxes.
So you raise taxes in order to cut taxes? It's genius. He's just got a $20 note that he's passing from hand to hand. It's insane. What the fuck?
It is insane. This is like...
Oh, God. This is what happens when you let 4chan become the federal government.
Yeah.
Just fucking madness.
All the competence just gone.
Yeah.
Oh, we have to play that Chris Murphy takedown of fucking Kristi Noem. Because she's spending money so fast, they're going to run out of their entire Homeland Security budget 2 months before the end of the fiscal year.
True, but think, right, of all of the photo opportunities she's had.
Oh, right in front of brown bodies, just to
Yeah,
make
love
her
it,
point.
love
Look at
it.
me, I'm a white woman in front of caged brown men.
True. Anyway,
Racism all the way down.
this is the thing that you. Basically, I'm just going to play them in order. The shite you sent me over the last week.
Just this last week, because we skipped a couple of weeks, so there was a lot.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm not going back that far. Like it's not.
Okay.
Is it relevant? And I don't know.
All right. All right, and I think I normally if it's just for you and me. Oh, sorry. If it's just for you and me, I usually like mark it as like this is private, just for us.
Oh, the porn. Yeah, the incredibly aggressive porn you send me on the regular. Yeah, it's weird. Anyway, this is Legacy Park.
In Brambleton, Virginia, and I think whoever planned this community had serious beef with their boss, and every time they showed them the plans for this huge neighborhood, they must have presented them upside down. The main area of focus here is obviously the park.
Okay, I see it. I see it.
Which isn't above.
Yeah, I see it. Okay, I see that. Yeah, well, that's nice. That is.
Oh, it's so amazing.
There is a girthy shaft there.
Of average size park, and you can see here the design starts here at the pond and just works its way out here to the tip where you have this fountain leading into this building.
You cheeky cunt. There's a fountain at the end. Love it. Love it.
Right here, which is apparently.
Although I've got to say, if you've got bush on this shaft, you need to shave. Yeah. That's too much going on.
Called the best brain.
You what? Sorry.
It's hairless in the winter. It's bushless in the winter.
Learning center. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that they built this part much sooner than expected. Now moving back to the base.
Okay, premature ejaculation joke. Nice.
Which looks a little overgrown. There is an elementary school across the street, and I'm not sure how this park is allowed within 500 feet of it.
I do hope that the road between that and the school is called Gooch Street. That would
an elementary school. So let's turn on the street view. Seriously, this thing has veins. Yes, it's a giant park shaped like a huge cock. How did they get away with this? This is...
that is one hell of a legacy. Yeah.
I take it you haven't watched the things that I sent you.
I watched some of them, but this was days ago. Even if I had watched it, I'd have forgotten.
You forgot it.
Yeah. I had no idea what's going on. Why no wheel? Because I was doing a show. I'm doing 2 shows together. Shut up.
That's a lot.
That is a lot.
You can make the wheel noise.
Well, we've just seen a dick.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun. I forget the music now. Something like that.
Yeah, you get
dun,
that.
dun, 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 dun. Something like that.
Isn't that a Mario bit?
Maybe.
Do.
Do you know that if you do the finishing the level music, but really, really fast, you get the mushroom music?
What?
They repurposed the music for one of the segments. They just made it really, really fast for another part of the game. If I find the video, I'll find the video.
But they don't mean to. Certain words are adjectives to them. Like when I was going to college, I was in a history class with a friend of mine who was from Brooklyn, and the professor was talking about when Argentina attacked the Falkland Islands. So, this guy's going, yo, professor, what Falkland Islands you talking about? So the professor's like, I don't think you want to say it. He's going, hey, no, you don't understand. I ask you a question, I gotta know what Falkland Islands you're talking about. There's Falkland Islands all over the place. What am I supposed to put on a test for crying out loud? So the professor's like, look, there's only one Falkland Island. He's like, hey, moron. Hey, read my lips, all right? There's Falkland Islands all over the world. Look at the map. Look at it. See those little pieces of dirt floating around in the water? Do you know what they are? They're Falkland Islands. You got the Hawaiian Falkland Islands, the Bermuda Falkland Islands, the Caribbean Falkland Islands, and somewhere on there, you got Gilligan's Falkland Islands.
Okay, that was pretty good. Funny. What is this? Do you just spend time on fucking Instagram all the time?
Yeah.
Now?
Well, I mean, you can't go on X, and Blue Sky doesn't have the, for some reason, people don't post good videos there yet. So
Yeah, that's true. It is
fair.
pretty
It's
dry.
like the one really downside of Blue Sky.
That automatically you can jump from
Oh, okay.
capitalism
Oh.
to socialism? No. The ruling bourgeoisie will try to kill you first, suppress you. So when Marx says in the Communist Manifesto, you must win the battle for democracy, it means you must assert your democratic rights, the right to assemble and speak out, and all the other rights. And then when your mass movement becomes big, and then they will try to suppress you, they will come out with fascism. So before you can have socialism, the monopoly capitalist class will unleash fascism under various pretexts. They use chauvinism against immigrants, xenophobia.
See, you can't have the not lispy, the kind of palate voice. Because now I'm just thinking this guy is Chinese Slavoj Žižek. But he just doesn't, he's not doing the sniff.
He's not doing the sniff, but he's
No.
okay.
But it just sounds like this is just Chinese Žižek, right? Actually, he might not be Chinese, I don't know, whatever. East Asian, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, well, yeah, that's pretty much what's happening when you try to get diversity and equity and inclusion, and you try to democratize opportunity. You get the bourgeois ruling class of fragile, white, incompetent men who take over and try to drag us back into the Confederacy.
True.
Which, yes, so. And the Confederacy, I guess, was probably a kind of a fascist state in and of itself.
Pretty much. I mean, they literally did force you to, like, the police could stop you in the street and force you to pledge allegiance to the Confederate States of America.
So, yeah, that's...
Which is pretty, like, that's some Nazi shit.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
80
we
years
didn't have that
before
political...
then.
Yeah, yes. Yeah. Authoritarianism, I guess, would probably be the closest, but yes.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a police state.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, just...
But I love the fact that they say, like, oh, it was to assert freedom. What?
Yeah,
What are you talking about? They literally impressed hundreds of thousands of men to walk into gunfire.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so much freedom.
Islamophobia and also many other tricks just to hide the roots of the crisis.
Yeah, so
the trash can of ideology, sniff. That's what he said. That's what he said, Christo. No, he's right. He's actually right. Yeah, Marxism, or Marx, I should say. Was firmly of the opinion that you couldn't go from capitalism to from feudalism to socialism. So you had to have that kind of capitalist, liberal, democratic thing in between as a transitionary stage. Yeah. So yeah, that's
What's this? I forget.
I don't know. It is.
Yeah, well, let's find out together.
Yeah, well, indeed. Every day is a learning day.
State, ask the woman what she would like to eat and marry her instantly if she says the rich.
True.
Guys, on your...
Literally true. Literally true. What's this one?
Capitalism tells you to buy roses for the person you love. Communism tells you to plant a garden together.
Oh,
that's fucking beautiful,
that's
man.
Beautiful.
Love that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, he seems pretty nice. I like him. Yeah. I remember a very inspired bit in a Tunche films where he had the Nazis kneel to the Confederates. Yeah, yeah, he's done some fucking awesome stuff. I still think Checkmate Lincolnite is one of the best things I've ever seen. Ever. Like, including, like, art and film and shit. Like, it's for reals. What is this? Oh, good lord. Okay. Yeah, sorry, Chad. This is going to be all over the place because it's just the stuff Christy sent me in the order
it's
what she
the same
sent
thing,
it
but
to.
without the wheel. It's literally
basically
the wheel
yeah.
without the wheel.
And flood your bed. Oh boy, I love it when you give me toad swirling head. Taste it from the back and the front.
Well, if you taste it from the back, she might clench her ass cheeks and go, "Got your nose."
That didn't happen to you, right?
No, you showed. Do you remember you showed me the video?
I remember we talked about it.
Yeah, and I remember you literally like wetting yourself.
I remember you laughing.
It was pretty good. That would be the most funny thing ever. And I was just like, the guy was like, "Oh,
he was so offended."
Yeah, like I'd crack up laughing and then absolutely blow her back walls out. What are you talking about? It's amazing.
Oh, baby, say you love my flood and cunts.
Oh, wow. Oh, that
You
is...
said you're thirsty. Well, take a sip. Hope you can swim, 'cause it's getting thick.
Oh, okay.
Tsunami warning. Grab a boat. By the time we're done, you'll need to float. I'm the squirt queen. Dripping lean. Turn your bed into a wavy scene. Thought you were tough. Make me
You have to also say the comments that I make in order to like get, because I've started writing things down. I think this one has these AI songs are getting out of hand.
Was that AI?
I am positive that was AI. Yeah, it
Really?
had that kind of digitally kind of to it.
I don't know.
Using
Just
my
country
iPhone.
music shit.
Well,
So I
that's
don't. Yeah, these AI songs are getting out of hand. Was the thing. Sing this truth with me.
okay.
Oh God,
okay.
Jesse, Jesse Lee Peterson. That's a face I've not seen in a while. Okay, let's go. Ah, fuck's sake.
I know, sucking sucks.
Climaxing is becoming a man because it's not normal for women to do that.
Right. I think it's a lie.
Do you think when women act like they're doing that, they're lying?
I think it feels good, but yeah, the climaxing part, I'm not so sure about.
Sing it with me.
Oh yes.
Stop giving me microphones.
Sure.
Stop giving. All right, we're gonna take it to church now, everybody. Everyone sing it with me. Stop giving microphones. Stop giving those fossils back. Stop giving what we gonna do? What we gonna do about it? Stop giving. What are we gonna do about all these men with all these microphones? Straight to you, straight to you, straight to you.
Oh, she's a pipes. Look at her.
Stop giving back microphones.
Honestly, podcasts are the bane of existence, aren't they?
God,
Podcasters
yeah.
thinking that their opinions mean anything.
I mean, before social media and the internet, these people had to do like what are those old-fashioned
Mimeographs.
mimeograph newsletters?
Yeah, exactly. And then hand
Or
them out at the
chick-
bus stop looking
yeah.
mental. Yeah.
Or chick tracks and leaving them in the
Yeah,
toilet.
chick tracks.
Yeah.
Yeah. True. Fucking hell.
Oh, you know what this is, right?
Yeah, white women are crazy.
Okay. I think this is important because this might. What did I say on this one?
I don't think you said
I said
anything.
it?
No, you
Okay.
didn't. No.
I'm not sure if it has to do with 100 men versus one gorilla.
Yeah, I saw that shit, and it's just
Yeah.
like, why did this debate even come about, and why do
Well,
I care?
There's always this, man or bear. There's white people washing their legs. The internet
but-
gets.
Well, exactly. Yeah, the internet comes up with some strange shit, but like, it must start somewhere, and there must be a reason why someone thought that was like an interesting question, and it isn't.
People talk shit all the time, and some of that shit just floats to the top, I guess. And other people go, "Oh, I have an opinion on this."
Yeah.
And then, yeah. Then it
Also,
becomes a
where
thing.
would you find 100 men? Because aren't they all? There's a loneliness epidemic, so they can't like.
Have men ever thought about the lonely men? Thought about just hugging each other?
And then maybe touching each other's peepees.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to just despunkify a friend,
It's nothing gay.
no.
It's just,
just
you're just
some
helping out a
lads.
friend. Like
Just lads
you'd
passing
help
the time.
you'd help them move. Why wouldn't you help them
Exactly.
come? You know. You help me lay some carpet, and I'll help you with head. You know what's wrong with that?
If you've seen the latest debate that's currently occupying the menfolk, 100 men versus one silverback gorilla, who would win? And I think that you've defined your terms very poorly, gentlemen, because you've all immediately rushed to violence. You've all immediately assumed that the gorilla has to die. It's
Right
you
away.
or him, and there's debate around, how many men would have to die before you got there. It's not how women would do it. If it was 100 women versus one gorilla, Not at all. I don't need 100 women. I need one woman. I need one messy bitch called Becky who's just been through a breakup. Because you don't have to kill it in order to dominate it. You need to take it home for a pet. And Becky would do that. Give Becky...
Boom.
You do friend-shaped, make it friend.
1 minute with that gorilla, and it'll be eating out of her hand. Give her 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and it'll be rolling over and having belly rubs. Give her a day, it'll have a collar around its neck and be renamed Peaches. Give her a month, and she will have crowdfunded to have had it airlifted back to her one-bedroom apartment, where it lives in its own special bed with princess written above it. It'll have nail polish on and ribbons in its hair and its own Instagram page. Don't believe me? You've never seen Jay's page?
Don't blame me.
Best Dog Fetch, about how women treat wild animals. You don't think that we could do that? There is a woman 2 doors down from me, and she's 80 if she's a day. She's tiny, and you could blow her over. She has 3 Rottweilers and dresses them up for holidays. Rottweilers, they're bigger than she is. They could eat her in a second, and I've seen them dressed as Christmas elves and Easter.
Whenever I see those dogs dressed as like Christmas elves or whatever, I think once upon a time that species of animal was a wolf. And it changed itself to domesticate itself so much that it's now like it's a little pug that's being dressed up as a UPS delivery man for Halloween. Like it's just
pumpkin.
Yeah. Whereas the cat, what the cat did was it went inside. That was the change it made, and it just
otherwise
went
it's
indoors.
the same.
Yeah.
Cats did not change at all.
No. Bunnies, and they're having an amazing time. We don't need 100 women to defeat one silverback gorilla. We need one of her. Or one Becky. And the other 99 women, well, they can go to the Gals and Gorillas bottomless brunch on Sunday with their giant, massive fur babies. Where they can share pictures and tips and where you get enormous buggies from to push around gorillas. And if any of those baby gorillas, it's their birthdays, will boop their snoots and put paper hats on them and give them banana cakes. Everyone's happy. Everyone's happy. Becky's got a new pet. Nobody's been hurt. I don't know if you've seen the latest debate.
Yeah.
Just yeah.
Remember the cat roaches?
What?
Oh, from yesterday, yeah, I was freaked out. Someone sent me a thing, and I briefly looked at it, and it looked like 4 massive cockroaches on a bed, but it wasn't. It was cats dressed up as cockroaches. Which, okay, to be fair, cats have kind of chilled as well, a little bit. They're not quite like tigers anymore, but, you know.
But they still have attitude. Even when they're wearing ridiculous things.
Very, very much so, yes. Max, 4 lions, something. Oh, we're going to have Billy Goat slander, are we? Outrageous. I've taken Cologne on as my fucking club now.
Have you?
Just because you live there. Well, I don't have any other tie to any German city.
So I guess you have to explain this a little bit.
Okay, so that's
this is the second. This is the second league in German football.
Yeah, FC. Well, actually, no. Oh yeah, well no, it is. Of course it is. Yeah, sorry, Hamburger. Yeah, got relegated, didn't they?
Yeah. They've been trying to get up for the last 7 years. So I have a friend, and he's very happy because over the weekend while he was visiting, Hamburg went to first place.
Right.
So, and Cologne got pushed down to fourth at the moment where I live. Yes. And then there's some other clubs I don't recognize in the middle. Do you?
SV Hamburg is the one on the left. Mm-hmm. Then there's SC Paderborn, which literally says it there. That one's obviously FC Cologne. I'm not sure about this one. E. What would E be?
I don't know.
SV. What begins with E in Germany?
Basically, yeah, you can look it up if you want. So the German says how the game day for the top 4 went, basically, or ran. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'm trying to say HSV.
Are you going to have a problem with copyright on this?
Probably. I don't fucking care.
It's like a 30-second thing. So, yeah. Pause it. So, do you recognize Waj?
Yeah.
Where is he from?
What do you mean?
The third one. the one with the E club, that guy.
Yeah.
Do you recognize who that is?
Yeah, I told you this.
Did you?
I told you that he was
Nandor?
from Nandor from
Yeah.
What We Do in the Shadows.
Yes.
Yeah, don't try and bring back information I told you about this.
While he was visiting, I wasn't sure how he'd do with it because Four Lions is dark.
It is dark. It's not Eindhoven. That's a different country. That's
Isn't
Netherlands.
that Netherlands?
Yeah.
Yeah, I go through Eindhoven on my way to Amsterdam.
God damn.
And I wasn't sure how he'd do with the accents. So we settled in with some edibles.
Right.
And I almost immediately fell asleep. I was like totally zoned out. And I just heard him giggling and rolling around laughing. So he really, really liked it. Except, the end, which I don't know, how old is this movie now? Like 15 years old?
Yeah, no, it's a while.
But now he was so invested at the end of it. Like he was kind of devastated. But also he said it was an amazing movie. So it really does stand up. And I don't say this on YouTube, but it's actually available for free on YouTube. Just Google it, or put it in the search engine, and
are you
you'll find
suggesting
it.
that we should commit crimes, Krista?
No, absolutely not.
It's SV Elversberg.
Oh, I don't even know where that is.
I don't know where that is either. I'm going to check where Elversberg is.
Okay.
Elversberg is located in Speisen Elversberg, Saarland. So that's the very west of the country.
Yeah.
Next to France.
Yeah, so I want to say it holds up. Some movies don't hold up over time, but this one, other than the fact that like there are some outdated things, like I think, is it Omar, the main character, asks Waj, like, why didn't you call me? He's like, yeah, I didn't have any credit.
Yeah, exactly.
A very early 2000s like phone thing.
Yeah.
Nobody has credit on their phone anymore.
No, that is true. That is true.
Yeah. But other than that, it does hold up.
A little bit of a brawl, mate. Am I getting shook for Beckham?
I got his sticky stuff as well, didn't I? The honey thing.
Sorry.
The honey. What is wrong with you lot's minds? It says on the honey, David Beckham, sticky stuff.
Lucky boy.
Should we go over to Peter in a nursery in Manchester?
I always think me and you have got...
See, he's in no position to judge, because I watch this on the regular, and there's a club in France called Brest, based in the city of Brest. And he has giggled over that every fucking game day, where Brest are playing against whoever. It doesn't even matter. Fucking Micah Richards, the twat. God. Anyway, yeah, so that happened. What else have we got? We've got, for Friday, what is this? Oh, it's a longer one, okay. From the Boulevard, to make it German for no reason. Oh, okay. Hang on, where we go? Oh, here we go. 1 second. Firstly, we've got cockroaches.
Oh God, yeah. Oh my God, that's terrifying.
That is hideous. You see what I mean? I didn't see the cat. I just thought they were massive. But I was like, what the Look, that's one of those things. Well, I didn't notice the fur in it. I just thought they were just big.
No, that's terrifying because I'm like, oh my God, they've grown fur.
Yo,
they can last through the winter.
That is gross. Exactly. Yeah, you can't even kill them anymore. Oh, that is fucking gross.
That is terrifying. Yeah.
And then we've got whatever this is. This is about Elon Musk.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. It just says Full Friday. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Parker from the Bulwark, and we got sad Elon news.
Things are so hard. Who knew they could be this hard?
Our continuing update in the sad life of Elon Musk. It's delicious. It's absolutely delicious. And that's why you should subscribe. Hit
Brody G99, what's phone credit? How old are you?
Get out. We don't want you young filth around here. Okay?
The floodlights are bouncing off your braces.
Exactly. Come back when you've got a beard. Dickhead. Anyway. Yeah. Before people had contracts on their
18.
phones.
Oh, your baby.
Before
Brody.
they had contracts on their phone, you could get essentially pay as you go.
Top up.
You could go to the shop and buy a £10 top up or euro or fucking dollar or whatever country you're in.
And then text messages used to cost money.
Yeah, the text messages would cost money, or a phone call would cost a certain amount per thing. And you have people bragging like, "Oh no, my thing, it's texts are only a penny, man." Like as if that's some big flex.
You top up your phone. I mean, I never put more than 10 quid on my phone. Never.
I think I hated contacting people, so I put 20 quid on once, and it lasted me like a year. I don't fucking ring people. If you want to contact me, contact me. That's the only reason I ever had a phone. I don't fucking contact people.
Oh, and a limited number of characters per text as well.
Yeah.
Because you have 2 messages. Yeah, if you had a really long text, it would go through as 2 messages.
Yeah, if someone was writing a fucking
Book.
someone's writing
Manifesto.
a lecture to you, it'd come through as 4 fucking text or whatever. And you're just like, why are you writing this? Just fucking either ring, just come round to my house. You know where I live. Ugh.
Like, follow the feed. Stay with us as we chart the progress of the richest man to ever live. Ben, today we get word from Semaphore that Tesla sales in Europe are down.
No way.
Why is that, do you think? Can't figure it out.
Impossible to say. So overall EV sales in Europe are up. So people are buying more electric vehicles. They're just buying fewer Teslas. Ben, would you like to guess how many percentage fewer Teslas? Here, I'll just spit out a country and you tell me what decline they saw year over year.
You want me to guess?
Yeah.
Or do you want me to pull? Okay, yeah.
No, Spain.
69%. Sex number.
Ooh, let's see. 10% less.
36% less.
Ooh, those are not
Germany.
numbers.
Oh, this has got to be like 50% less.
46%.
Okay.
Very close.
Belgium.
I'm guessing similar, 43%.
55. France. 59. The United Kingdom. Minus 62. Denmark.
Whoa.
Minus 67. The Netherlands. Minus 74%. Sweden. An 81% decline.
Wow. That's really interesting because Sweden didn't always have a problem with Nazis before. Just saying. You remain neutral, you get slapped.
81%?
81% decline. And again, remember, this is happening as more electric cars are being sold. So people are just saying, yeah, I'll take one of them electric.
Yeah, people want electric cars.
Yeah.
They just don't want to buy Nazi electric cars.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Cars, which one? Anyone but a Tesla, please. I don't want that. Here's the best part.
Yeah, please.
Tesla in 2021 opened a gigafactory, giggity, in Germany.
Oh, in Germany?
Well, presumably it's pronounced a gigafactory.
In Germany, Deutschland, auf Deutschland, capable of building 375,000 cars.
Wow, is there any history, Christy, of people who do Sieg Heil setting up car companies in Germany?
Yeah.
Has that ever happened before?
Well, I
don't
mean,
know.
I think what Elon wants to build is a people's car, really.
Yeah, he does. He really does, yeah.
He wants to build a people's
A kind of Wagen for the Volk.
Volk, yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, something like that.
A sort of Volkswagen.
Per year.
Yeah, sure.
As you would.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Year. Are you ready for how the news report frames this?
Please.
The facility is likely to be underutilized for some time.
You know, at least he's still selling so many more cars in America, right? Because that's the big economy, right? And he's really just killing it in America.
Not doing so great in America either. Sales also down in America.
China, he's selling a lot of cars in China. Remind me, do they make a lot of EVs in China?
They make a lot of EVs in China. They don't really like Tesla.
They make a lot of everything in China.
Yeah,
they
they have
literally just
everything.
make all things in China.
All the things.
Yeah.
100%.
There very much. Maybe he can build his Optimus robots in the German factory.
Well, he's definitely going to Mars next year, so he's going to have to get on board. He's going to have to build those rockets pretty quickly, isn't he?
Yeah, with robots all the
So,
time.
yeah, so he's got that factory in Germany, so I reckon, just build the rockets that you're definitely going to build, Elon, to go to Mars next year. It's definitely going to happen. Yeah. What is this? What are you sending me, people?
Is someone sending you that the Sweden's national security advisor quits over Grindr images?
No, but I'm interested in that story. That is a rotary phone. That is not a thing that needs to. Yeah.
Wait. Sweden's new national security advisor quit hours after taking up the role as sensitive pictures of him on the dating app Grindr were sent anonymously to the government. Tobias Thyberg, who took up the job on Thursday and resigned on Friday morning, had omitted the information during security background checks, the government had said.
Well, hang on. What's the security implication here, though?
Well, I guess these are old pictures from an account I previously had on the dating site. I should have been informed, but I did not. I guess they probably thought that he would be a security risk because somebody could blackmail him over it.
I guess, yeah.
What they did instead was they just plastered it all over the papers because that's such a much better way to deal with this.
Yeah, now no one knows about it.
Yep.
So it's fine. Yeah.
So
because any day.
So Sweden just keeps being Sweden. Keeps Sweding it up.
Any day, the Optimus robots will be just flying off the shelves as everybody. He promised that on their earnings call. The future is really the future is really our future is really optimistic with the robots, the humanoid robots. That's the future.
That's quite good. Not too
bad.
It does.
It's drifting into English.
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit plummy, but yeah, he's not. South African is very difficult.
Well, that's the thing. Well, a broad South African accent isn't that difficult, really. It's sort of just a kind of weird Aussie. Whereas he's got a really weird accent where he's sort of Dutch and sort of South African with a bit of posh English and kind of the occasional lilt of American. Like those kind of weird accents just are difficult to pin down, really. And he doesn't speak in full sentences very often, which doesn't help impressions.
Then it gets better. Did you see last week when Elon sat down with Jonathan Swan in the Roosevelt?
Jonathan Swan, who looks like a friend but is not a friend.
Do you remember where Jonathan Swan really got his breakout moment, where he became a meme?
At the pond with the bits of bread.
Yeah, with some other Mikey Swans. No, it was when he did that interview with Trump, and he was like, Trump was talking Trump shit, and Swan is just looking at him like he's...
Oh, he did the face. Is he Aussie or some shit?
He's British, isn't he?
Is he British? I don't know. Yeah, but he's not American. That's
no. So I'll look that up really quick to see what his nationality is.
Yeah, but, and it's just it's the meme of he's looking at the paper and it's just
yes.
Just
he's Australian. I'm correct. I stand correct.
I didn't know. I just thought he was from his accent.
Yeah. But he did become a meme because of that. What? Oh, I guess who is him looking like? The fuck is this guy talking about?
Yeah, kind of head tilty white boy.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Like a confused John Oliver.
Yeah, basically.
Room. I don't smoke, but I feel like I'm going to need a cigarette. Wait, sorry. In the Roosevelt room?
In the Roosevelt room of the White House. That's where he sat for his exit interview with Jonathan Swan.
Is that like when you're co-president? Is that like your Oval Office? Like you get the Roosevelt room as your second in command, so you get the. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
So Elon feels as though maybe he's not co-president anymore. He is limping off to go back to run his many companies. And Jonathan Swan asked him, so are you gonna meet your pledge? So Jonathan Swan says to him, so back in October at Madison Square Garden, you came out, you jumped around and you showed your little soft belly and you promised America that you were going to cut $2 trillion at least. He said at least.
At least
$2 trillion from the federal budget. Have you done that? Elon says, no. Jonathan Swan says, are you going to be able to get to 1 trillion? And here, Ben, I want to read you Elon's response.
Oh I can't wait.
I think it's possible to do that, but it's a long road to go. And, it's really difficult. It's sort of how much pain is,
It's really difficult, yeah. People told you it would be really difficult because it's a fucking stupid thing to try and do in the first place. Like, cutting your own arm off is possible, but it is difficult and not advisable.
Are the cabinet and his Congress willing to take? Because it can be done, but it requires dealing with a lot of complaints.
It requires dealing with a lot of complaints. It can be done, but it requires dealing with a lot of complaints.
As you destroy people's livelihoods,
Yeah.
and lives and employment.
How dare the American people complain about things? You know how inconvenient that is for Elon Musk?
Did you see Bill Gates complaining that Elon Musk was killing children?
What?
Bill Gates said that Elon Musk is killing children.
Did
you also miss that?
Yeah, I missed that.
Get that up.
Yeah. What the fuck?
I will get up the quote.
I don't know.
Gates. Elon.
I'd have thought, given that he was friends with Ghislaine Maxwell, he'd be doing different things to kids.
So here we go. Bill Gates says Elon Musk is killing the world's poorest children.
Yeah, we know. Yeah. Because he's getting rid of all like AIDS money and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's basically what he said. Is Elon Musk kills children.
And it's not just that, but it's part of his like white supremacist eugenicism as well.
Yeah, so this is the quote. The picture of the world's richest man killing the world's poorest children is not a pretty one, Gates told the Financial Times. The number of deaths will start going up for the first time. It's going to be million more deaths because of the resources. I think governments will come back to caring about children surviving over the next 20-year period, he says.
Yeah.
Is Gates is a huge liar, Musk says in a reply tweet to him on social, on Shitter. Except it's not. Like, it's literally kids are like dying the day you started the cuts.
Yeah.
You utter piece of shit.
That's right.
So, Now I want to say
Why
that,
would you want to support a white racist?
Musk claims. So do we? It's not a case. It's like, he was this close to making it to his goal. He was this close to $1 trillion. Actually, Musk claims only $160 billion worth of savings.
So that's what percentage of 2 trillion is that?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
no idea.
I don't even know.
I can't do that math. Too many zeros.
4% or some shit. And that's if he even gets there, because most of the things he's claimed are savings aren't. Like we went through it, didn't we, a couple of weeks ago, where there was stuff.
Yeah, yes.
There was stuff that expired 20 years ago that he
Yes.
was claiming was saved money now.
Yeah, stuff that Biden did.
Well, not even that. Yeah, wasn't the stuff that expired under
And Bush.
Bush?
Yes.
What the fuck? That's just after 9/11. What? You can't claim that. You hadn't even illegally entered the United States yet.
Yep.
Which sounds like still, I guess, kind of impressive, right? $160 billion and a 5 will get you a cup of coffee.
I mean, it's
get you a dozen eggs.
60% of half of his goal, right?
Well, the problem is that they have a wall of receipts where they itemize the savings, and they can only itemize $58 billion.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Also, again, these are not savings. If you only look at one side of the ledger, that's not the accurate picture. What you have done is, let's say 58 billion, right? You've just not spent 58 billion. But if the problems that causes costs more than 58 billion, you've actually spent more money.
Yes.
So, for instance, if it costs you 100 billion to run the airports authority, and you say, well, let's not spend any money there, save 100 billion. But then all of the planes crash and it costs you 10 trillion. What you've actually done is very expensive and lots of people died.
Yep.
You know?
So we've gone from, just in case you guys are keeping track at home, we're going to do at least 2 trillion down to, well, we got 160 billion down to, well, we can show you 58 billion. And even the 58 billion, it turns out, is wildly inflated by including outright errors and, as the New York Times reports, guesses about the future. And here I will switch from my bad Elon to my bad Nigel Tuftle.
Fucking you can't Nostradamus your way to 2 trillion. I predict in the future we'll save lots of money by getting rid of Congress. Yeah, like you can't fucking predict. Like you can't fucking crystal ball your way to savings.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't mean crystal ball the commentator. I mean the ball made of crystal. Yeah. Anyway.
So not really. It's not really savings then at all, is it? Is it right?
Why is he turned into a cockney?
Oh, he's doing I think the guy from this is Spinal Tap, because he starts referencing Stonehenge pretty soon.
Oh, okay.
So just I think that's what he.
You know the mustachio guy from that, the bassist,
yeah,
voiced both Smithers and Mr. Burns in The Simpsons.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
And he says, like, in the recordings, he literally has conversations with himself as the 2 different characters to record it. Which is fucking mental.
Yeah.
And I love it.
At this point, I raise a practical question. Will we be playing Stonehenge tonight?
See.
Racist.
JV, I'm taking notes for the next time I send you an expense report, right? I spent $400. Here are receipts for our $150, and the rest is projections about the future. So please, reimburse me for that, please.
But we got to get so it gets better.
It gets better.
How,
Kevin?
Except
when
then asked about, so did this Doge thing really work? Elon says, Doge is a way of life, like Buddhism.
No way.
Yes.
Oh, he's not a real person, man. He's not. He's a fucking an absolute freak. Just a freak moron boy.
Yes.
Doge is a way of life like Buddhism. No, prick. Did it save the federal government money? I'm not asking for your fucking pseudo-philosophical ranting. Did it work? Was it effective at governance? Well, it's a way of life. Fucking... Oh, God.
The real Doge, Ben, is the friends we made along the way.
True.
I'm not an expert.
Elon, can you email me 5 things you've achieved as a part of the government, please? Because I don't think you're going to be able to. Mainly because I don't think you're sober enough to operate an email.
Yeah.
On Buddhism, but I do not believe it involves dealing with a lot of complaints. Somehow that seems... I would have gotten to Nirvana if it weren't for dealing with all the complaints.
Yeah. I was going to be one with the universe, but people kept moaning.
Kept complaining about it. Yeah.
So, Benjamin, I said that the real Doge was the friends we made along the way.
Mm-hmm. Like big balls.
It turns out, for Elon, that might be literally true. Because towards the end of this New York Times piece, Jonathan Swan relates that Elon just started opening up to him.
Oh, no.
About his relationship with Donald Trump. And it feels like maybe to Elon, Trump was the friend he never had.
Yeah.
Right?
Obviously.
I mean, like, David Sachs isn't really a friend. David Sachs is like a toady who just, like, stands around, and he's like the Peter Lorre character in all of those 30s movies, right?
Oh, no. The part that surprised me wasn't the friend he never had. That doesn't surprise me at all. The part that surprised me was Trump? Like, you're going to make one friend and it's him? Him?
I read to you from Jonathan Swan. I guess we're good friends. And
no, Jonathan Swan just went... Oh, no, that's an actual swan.
That's actual
swan.
So we'll be on Air Force One and need one. And he's like, hey, do you want to stay over? And I'm like, sure.
Do you want to stay over? Oh, we can go. I've got sick video games, and we can stay up past like midnight because my parents don't even know. Yeah, we can eat fucking raw cookie dough and talk about girls' boobs.
You don't know how close you are.
You what? Sorry?
You don't know how close you are.
Yeah, literally, that's just it, isn't it? Yeah.
Sleep over tonight. We'll stay up and do each other's hair plugs. Mr. Musk ended up spending the night in the Lincoln bedroom on several occasions. During one of those sleepovers, Mr. Musk said, Mr. Trump called him late at night to tell him to make sure to get some ice cream from the kitchen. The billionaire said he helped himself to a whole container of caramel Haagen-Dazs. I was like, this stuff's amazing, he said.
You're the richest man in the world. Why haven't you had fucking caramel ice cream? So you've tried every brand of ketamine under the sun, but you've never tried Haagen-Dazs.
No.
Fucking hell. Like, honestly, richness is wasted on the rich.
It really is.
Unbelievable.
I just want to say, all the respect in the world to Jonathan Swan for calling it a sleepover. Exactly what
it is.
That is exactly the right word. And you know what?
To be fair, this is the most relatable that Trump and Elon Musk have. That's almost like a human interaction they had. A very weird interaction, but like
for men in their like 70-ish and 50-ish.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird for grown men to be having that interaction, but it is an interaction that humans have.
Yeah, so it makes them like oh, they're sociopaths, but they can fake it.
Yeah, exactly. Like maybe there's just like a kernel of humanity inside of them somewhere.
No.
At least for each other, you know.
Yeah, then they like to pretend they have,
and then
they understand how social reciprocity works.
Yeah.
You know, and so Trump can extend his largesse by also showing off at the same time.
Well,
and Elon can jerk himself off in front of the refrigerator at the White House, going, "Oh, I'm in the White House."
Yeah, and like it's literally, it's like AI. They're both grok, right? In that they're learning how to seem human.
Yes, exactly.
It's a facsimile of what humanity looks like in the round.
A simulacrum.
Quite so.
Editors looked at that and went, Yep, it's a sleepover. The president is having sleepovers with his friend. They don't even have to ask their moms.
True.
The thing is, though, I don't think Trump views Elon as a friend. That's what makes this ultimately sad.
Trump doesn't view anyone. Trump isn't capable of friendship.
No,
Trump doesn't like anyone. Trump doesn't even like himself, but he has to look after himself.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the only person he ever serves is himself.
Trump has transactions with people, not relationships.
Yeah, exactly. That's why, like I've said this before, but show me a person who's ever worked with Trump that likes him.
Or hasn't regretted it in the end.
Yeah. Yeah.
Elon
the only people who you can say is probably like Roger Stone and Rudy Giuliani, and that's because they're the biggest cuck motherfuckers that have ever lived. He shafted them 9 ways to Sunday, and they're still there.
Yeah, well, yes. Lackeys.
Yeah.
Fucking boot.
So we said this was ultimately a tale about sad Elon, and I think it's because Elon is this megamaniacal, Nazi-adjacent guy who has more money than any human has ever had. And yet, he
doesn't have as much money as he used to have.
True.
But still, he has more money than
anyone
other
else. Yeah.
different human being has ever had. Yeah.
Looks like he wants a friend, and he finally gets one guy that he thinks is his friend. And, I mean, I'm sorry. Donald Trump thinks this guy's a freak.
Yeah.
Right?
100%.
Yep, definitely.
I mean, Donald Trump has his own thing.
I cannot wait to see the behind-the-scenes stuff, because it always comes out in the wash eventually, whether it's LBJ getting his cock out or the Nixon tapes or whatever. Like, there's always that background information becomes public at some point.
Truth will out.
And I cannot wait to see what Trump says about Elon Musk behind the scenes. He's going to have absolutely torn it, because he's one of the most fucking foul human beings ever. He will attack everyone for anything. Literally, he will openly mock disabled reporters live on stage. He don't give a fuck. The things he must have said about Elon Musk. He's used the R word. I guarantee you he's used the R word about Elon Musk. Guarantee it. You might not find out for 10 years, 20 years, but you will come out.
But he's not a weirdo. And he looks at Elon and just laughs at him behind his back. I find that so funny. I can only imagine the scene where Elon asks Trump if he wants him to teach him how to play League of Legends. Trump goes, "Oh, was that one of your games? Is that one of your games, Elon?"
Ooh,
no,
everything's computer.
Yes.
Don't like it. We don't like it. It's not strong. Powerful people don't
there.
play the games.
That's the worst Trump I've ever done. Yeah, just don't bring the kid. Leave the kid at home for once.
The whole thing is amazing.
But the
I know- you know what, I'm
Antifas might get him without the human shield.
Yeah.
No.
Sorry, while we're taping here,
Luigi!
to complete the sad Elon, I'm just gonna head over to my stock tracker and look at Tesla to see what Tesla's 1 year stock. Oh,
Is it up? Is it way up?
It's
diamond hands to the moon.
It's not up. The Tesla
Wow.
stock price is not up.
It's about flat then, right? Because they make so many good cars.
Yeah, everything's
It's-
up right now.
I'm not
just
gonna
because
lie, it's down.
The market's jizzing
It's
itself
down
over a shitty trade deal.
year to date. A third. A third.
Oh no!
Just since January 1.
But you know,
So,
I think that's enough. I think that
Elon
was
came into
basically-
government.
Yeah, we're close enough to the end. I know that it's a meme stock and people aren't investing in it based on anything rational. Everyone who is a Musk rat, I guess are their nicknames, but a cult follower, every time they see the price go down, they just reach into their pockets and they hand him more money. But you can't. I mean, he's got almost $1 billion worth of Cybertruck inventory just sitting around. He's got a new refreshed Model Y that's not getting ordered. He's got sales down in China, in America, in Europe. Eventually, these numbers are going to, hit.
Yeah.
And people are going to want to get out before it crashes.
You say that he's got $1 billion of Cybertruck sitting around.
Three quarters.
But don't worry, it will set on fire. Either naturally or otherwise.
Yeah, and then he
at some
can claim
point.
the insurance.
Yeah. Yes. You sent me this. It's
Oh fucking yes! So
Piers
you know
Morgan?
the whole yes. I mean, so there was a little discussion in my D&D group in our non D&D chat thread where one person brought this up because I hadn't seen it, and we were just talking about how Piers Morgan is a complete piece of shit, but he tries to redeem himself by being better than outright racists.
Yeah, he basically tries to dissociate him or to seem better by comparing himself to like Nazis or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, but he will then defend the structural racism and inequalities that are built into the economic system or the class system or the social acceptability system that allow him his white male privilege.
Yeah.
So fuck him, I guess.
Yeah.
But I guess it is interesting to watch the right fight itself, and we're gonna get some more of this with Jordan Peterson and the woke right fight that's happening. So basically now the openly racist white people are coming out, and there are some conservative people who still feel it's not acceptable to be that openly racist.
Yeah.
You can be racist. It's like a Nigel Farage thing. You have to be subtle about your racism.
You have to hide your power levels.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
A white racist.
Because I want to support free speech, and you cannot have free speech in a country. if you
That's
have...
fine. You can support free speech, but you also have to be accountable for what you say. Would you use the N-word out of interest?
Yes.
You would?
I do, quite frankly.
You use the N-word quite frequently.
Yeah. Lovely. What a classy.
look at the face of that white woman.
Yeah, classy lass though.
She wants to make it acceptable to use racial slurs again.
Well, of course they do. Yeah, that's always been the goal.
Mm-hmm.
Well, why? Other than the fact you're a despicable racist, are you?
Some would say I am. I guess according to the ADL, I'm a white supremacist. I'm a neo-Nazi.
Yeah, well, if you use the N-word repeatedly, you are a racist.
Check. Yeah.
Michael
Van Hill knows.
If that
He
means
knows.
supporting, helping white people achieve freedom of speech, real freedom of speech, which
Wait!
by the way,
I don't need to use racial slurs to have freedom of speech.
Yeah.
The racial slurs do not help my freedom of speech.
Like
they get me discounted and
Yeah.
marginalized because it's a shitty thing to say. If you can't respect another person's humanity while debating their ideas, not the person, their characteristics that are immutable and they have no control over, then you're a weak piece of shit.
Well, not just that, but like she says, "Oh, I don't have freedom of speech or whatever. We need to achieve it." Like you haven't been arrested. You've just admitted that you regularly use the N-word, and the police have not arrested you.
Yeah.
You face no legal sanction for this. So you have freedom of speech. What you want is no consequences for saying things, which has never existed and never will.
Yeah.
Facts. Just like you can say the N-word, and then everyone else can go, "Oh, you're a prick, and I don't want to associate with you."
Yep, 100%.
Shiloh Hendricks is being attacked on all fronts. They're trying to bring legal charges against her. They're trying to get her children taken away. So you were saying Carmelo Anthony, it doesn't matter. That's a different.
Sorry, but just to be clear,
that's Carmelo Anthony, the young guy who's on trial, not the former basketball player, who has the same name but spelled slightly differently.
Okay.
You just said to me you use the N-word regularly. In what context? Do you use it with black people?
I just sing rap songs.
No, of course she doesn't have the courage to say it to a black person.
Oh yeah, no, she walks through Harlem screaming it. Yeah, what are you talking about?
No, she does it in all white spaces.
She goes to Compton. No, she goes to the CPT and just starts shouting at her homies. Yeah.
What's up, my?
Yes, if it's appropriate.
When would it be appropriate to use the N-word? When would it be appropriate?
Anytime I feel like it.
So that doesn't mean anything then. That like you're saying when it's appropriate, when I feel like. Well, so that doesn't mean anything then.
Yep.
When it's appropriate. Fucking idiots, man.
Yep.
Correct.
Correct.
Do you understand that makes you a despicable human being?
I guess so. I don't really care. I mean, why are we not talking about Shiloh Hendricks? Why are we talking about?
Well, actually, I think you've moved it on in this debate very quickly to your own racism, which explains why you've supported her in public and why you've got all these views. You see no problem with a woman shrieking the N-word repeatedly because you yourself are a despicable racist, and you've just proudly admitted that with a smug grin on your face.
But Piers, you've got to say you have once again platformed yet another disgusting racist. Like, oh, sorry,
and also, if she said, "Well, I won't use that word, but I also don't believe. I believe in merit and opportunity, not diversity, equity, and inclusion," he would be right along there with her.
Yeah, and forgetting, of course, that DEI just means the N-word.
Yeah, now it does. Yeah. But what it really means is competition for white men, which some of them can't.
Oh yeah, I should say the actual DEI doesn't mean that. I mean, like when right wingers use it, they're hiding their power levels. They want to scream the N-word. But they say
100%.
You're a DEI hire.
Mm-hmm. That's their code for 100%.
Just like CRT was before, and they'll come up with a new one next week. You know,
a social justice warrior.
Yeah, SJW was a thing. Certainly, yeah.
Face, which is pretty horrifying, actually, for most people to have to watch. And shame on you. You're entitled to do it, and I'm entitled to call you despicable.
Yep. Yeah, literally, yeah. Correct. I don't like agreeing with Piers Morgan. It feels bad. I feel slightly dirty.
But I feel that, I'm happy for the right to have that fight. Because, if they're having that fight on the right, that means that's less that we have to have it, like, not that I'm saying we shouldn't challenge these people and call them out and make it feel unacceptable. But the more places...
And what I would say is, well...
the more places where it feels unacceptable to them, the better.
Yeah. James motherfucking Lindsay.
Yeah. I'm going to say this. It's not really fat shaming. It's just an observation. You can tell by the bulge in the buttons he's not been practicing the axe.
No, he's let the axe slip. He's missed axe day. Far too many times. Jimmy Concepts. I have not seen this lad for a while.
Right?
He's been he's been hiding.
Guess who he's hanging out with?
Oh shit, I don't know. Donald Trump?
Yeah, go ahead and hit play.
Oh, okay.
And what I would say is, well, what's woke right is same energy, different direction.
There is a civil war happening right now on the right between the moderates, aka the racists, and the woke right, aka the white supremacists, and they are at each other's throat.
Criticize, criticize, criticize.
Jordan Peterson, that's a name you probably haven't heard in a while.
Jordan Peterson, love it. Let's go.
Because he's been having a hard year getting slowly ostracized from the right as his pseudo-intellectual shtick has long worn off.
Up yours, woke moralists.
That's such a good clip. It's such good memes. We'll see who cancels who. And then he was never heard of again.
Yes.
See who cancels who.
Turns out the party of alpha male grifters and domestic terrorism doesn't want a thought leader who cries at the thought of a water bottle.
I've always had a very acute sense of the finitude of existence.
And now Peterson is on the...
Jesus Christ. Has he been on the fucking cider again?
No.
Because he looks overtired. He hasn't slept for several months.
5 years.
Yeah.
the edge of the conservative movement being shoved towards our side, although I think I speak for all of us.
I just want to point out, he dreamt about his nan's pubes and then wrote about it. About combing his nan's pubic bush.
Yeah, he put that image in all our heads. So I'm not going to call you out for bringing it up because it's not your fault. It's Jordan Peterson's fault.
It's Jordan Peterson's fault that I have thought about his nan's pubes.
Yes.
Yeah, that is
100% true.
His nan's growler.
Not your fault. It's not your fault.
It's not my fault. No, I know it's not my fault, Christy. I don't blame
It's
me.
not your fault.
I know, Christy.
It's not your fault. It's not your fault. I love how we just spun into Goodwill Hunting there.
Yeah, exactly. Well, how'd you like those fucking apples, God? Anyway.
I say that we do not want him. Peterson just released this video that pissed off even more conservatives. When the right has gone too far. An interview with another conservative thought leader, Dr. James Lindsay, who has coined the...
He also tweeted out...
Stop giving men microphones.
Quite literally. He also tweeted out milking porn and said that it was a Chinese breeding centre where they were stealing people's sperm. He just tweeted that out. That was a thing he did. Very normal man. Yeah.
The phrase the woke right, and let me tell you, the right did not like this video, as evidence from this like to dislike ratio and the many very pissed off comments. We'll dive into this concept of woke right and why the Republicans are eating each other alive over this, which I for one love to see. But
did he say woke right or woke Reich?
I think he might have done. Hang on.
I heard Reich.
Comments. We'll dive into this concept of woke right and why the
He
Republicans...
definitely said Reich. I will be generous and I'll say that was a misspeak.
But it fits.
It is. Yeah.
Republicans are eating each other alive over this, which I, for one, love to see. But real quick, if you're enjoying the coverage here and want to join our resistance, consider subbing to Really American. It's free, helps us get to 1 million, and we thank you greatly for it. This whole debacle stems from an interview with Jordan Peterson and James Lindsay, and it culminates in a very public back and forth between Lindsay and the greasy loser known as Matt Walsh, known for his ground...
It's the fucking Avengers of fucking creeps.
Yep.
Love it.
Yep.
Breaking conservative documentaries, What is a Woman and Am I
What is the
Racist?
woman's?
Both of which can be answered with yes. Well, no nonsense, always offended.
What is a woman? Yes. I'm not sure that works. Okay. Fair
By
enough.
being called a straight white man, Matt Walsh isn't too keen on what James Lindsay is here to say.
So the expression that I could give to tie people, just to bring woke right back to the conversation, is we're...
Are these the two reddest people ever?
Right?
That
I think they both have high blood pressure issues.
They look like undercooked sausage meat.
Gammon.
They are. It's very gammon.
They're gammon. It's it's been a while since I've used gammon, but it's
very gammon
really,
pilled.
Yeah, it's very 2000 and what year was it? 16. Brexit, gammon.
Yeah, 2016.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Phil Decker with Bitty Bits. He says Peterson did the audiobook for Maps of Meaning, and I would have given anything to see the faces of the sound techs in the recording studio during the Granny's pubes passage. Yeah.
Does anyone ever clip that? No, we don't. We shouldn't listen to that if that exists on the internet.
Granny pubes.
Oh my God.
We're familiar now with the machinations of woke left, right? And what I would say is, well, what's woke right is same energy, different direction. You have all of those same exact, whether it's Luciferian at the high level, whether it's struggle sessions, Machiavellianism.
What in the fuck are you talking about, you mad
Yeah,
cunt?
exactly. Just talk shit, and he thinks he's being like
Luciferian at the top and struggle sessions at the bottom. What are either of those things? What do you mean?
Nothing. He means nothing.
Yeah.
It's what is that line from Shakespeare about sound and fury signifying nothing?
Something like that. Yeah. But he also said, "Mama said knock you out."
Yeah, I'm gonna knock you out.
He did say
Mama
that.
said knock you out.
Got a hierarchy there. It's like it's Luciferian at the core, Then we've got the cluster B dark tetrad traits. Then there's the mechanisms
That's
that
right,
you
that's right.
described, right? So that's a differentiated.
It's just two dumb bitches going, yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
It's two people talking out of their ass at each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Then that gives us a way of identifying.
So if we use
too.
the kind of, pop word of the day of, vibes or energy, it's same energy, different direction.
I can't believe that these are
What
the
does that
intellectual giants on the right. Like, if you took a transcript of their dialogue and gave it to somebody, that person would probably think it's two people in the throes of psychosis. This was a massive betrayal to the online right, by the way. I mean, for years, these weirdos have been collecting on sites like 4chan and Reddit, riling each other up and using language like groypers and based to refer to themselves. An identity that's built on white supremacy, anti-Semitism, and an overall disdain for the establishment.
Okay, so the left has told us, the far left has told us, you can't be racist. Racist is worse. Everybody's a racist. And of course, they completely made degenerate the concept of racism, the word racism, the accusation, the sky is racist, going for a hike is racist. But they aren't trying to reclaim.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, I mean, if he didn't have straw man arguments, he wouldn't have any arguments.
What the fuck? But literally, who has ever said the sky is racist?
No one.
No.
I mean, maybe the people in his mind. You know,
Yeah, the
other voices
Luciferians.
in his head.
Yeah.
Luciferians, yeah, the voices in his head.
Claim and say, okay, no, wait. Racism's bad. We don't want to be racist. And nobody should be racist. And the left completely ruined it. So we need to reclaim the term and have this healthy societal norm about discrimination and bigotry. What they're doing instead is saying it's time for us to be a little bit racist. The left said, don't be racist, so we're going to be really racist. And we're going to do it in order to make, to own the libs, as they sometimes phrase.
Hang on, how are you not this?
They were always that.
Yeah,
And so are you.
What? Yeah, what did he think he was a part of, if not that?
Well, I think he's got a sort of like a very white supremacist notion of racism, which is unless you use like something like the N-word. So systemic racism doesn't exist. Like that's not a thing.
Yeah.
Right? It's when individuals say something explicitly racist, not a microaggression, explicitly racist. That's a racist. And that's the only racist there can. Oh, please. Oh, no. Oh, no. We're going to have to hear the pubes, aren't we?
We are, Chris.
We're listening to the pubes. Right.
We are listening to his grandma's hairy snatch. I've always wanted to describe his nan like that.
Oh, he did.
I dreamed I saw my maternal grandmother sitting by the bank of a swimming pool, which was also a river. Her genital region was exposed dimly.
Oh, Jesus. It's already bad.
Yeah. Nobody, I guess, content warning, don't eat while you're
Well,
watching
especially if
it.
your nan's fucking bush is right there. Definitely.
Yep.
Not. That is not for eating. That is a forbidden apple. Oh, it's so gross already, and he hasn't even mentioned their pubes.
It had the appearance of a thick mat of hair.
Oh.
She was stroking herself absent-mindedly. She walked over to me with a handful of pubic hair compacted into something resembling a...
Oh, no, Christy, you didn't hear that, but someone
Thank God.
very generously, thank you, Katie Marshall, for gifting 5 subs. So when it said she came over to me, and someone said, and then the noise alert of oiled like a baby otter came on, and that is just an unacceptable addition to this story, frankly.
large artist's paintbrush. She pushed this at my face. I raised my arm several times to
And that's probably, let's be honest, he raised his arm several times in a Roman salute.
Yes.
Yeah.
deflect her hand. Finally, unwilling to hurt her or interfere with her any further, I let her have her way. She stroked my face with the brush gently and said, like a child, "Isn't it soft?" I looked at her ruined face and said, "Yes, Grandma, soft."
You could, if that had ever happened to me, you couldn't have tortured that information out of me. Let alone fucking. Oh, I feel sick. I feel a little bit sick.
That's why it was really important to play it.
Yeah, look, we show warts and all, okay? If there is a grandma pube story that is necessary to tell, We are truth
We're there.
tellers. We are
Yes.
brave. The free marketplace of ideas demanded granny pubes.
The thing, right? But really, it's to reject woke culture as the pretext. They're not acting racist or blaming Jews for everything going wrong in society, or getting further and further into the racial expression or the white.
Oh no, Katie, I was only joking. Thank you for your generosity. Much love.
Racial consciousness or whatever, or the white supremacy or even white nationalism, in order to challenge the left.
No,
they're doing it to challenge the center, the healthy core of society and its norms.
Clearly, white supremacy and anti-Semitism are not a winning strategy, at least not open white supremacy and anti-Semitism, the kind that Matt Walsh loves to engage in. This little lovers' quarrel started because Matt
People are sick of racial double standards. They're fed up. It's just that simple. Okay.
has been arguing all week about how it's a good thing that people gave that racist mom who said the N-word to a child $730,000 as of recording this video. Matt says that people are sick of the racial double standards. They're fed up. It's just that simple. Anti-communist James Lindsay here points out in a tweet that's way too long that maybe it's a bad idea for Republicans to be donating nearly $1 million to a random racist lady. He stopped short of
why when they could be doing it to a random racist like Trump. But how is that any different? Like what?
calling Matt woke right, but that doesn't come till later. He said, I don't think
also, what's woke about it? What does that word mean to these people?
Anything they want.
Yeah.
Makes Matt Walsh racist, nor does he make him woke right. I don't think Matt is woke. I think he's vain, a midwit, and tribal.
Midwit.
Hell yeah. Read him for filth, queen. And his tribe is doing this, and he can look good taking a stand that someone smarter than a midwit would understand why you don't take. It's foolishness passing itself as bravery, and Matt Walsh isn't woke. He's just a garden variety fool. Stop getting your thoughts from pundits. Matt Walsh responds in a whine. Here's James writing an entire book responding to half my argument. He concludes at the end that I'm a fool and a midwit, because of course it makes perfect sense to write a novel responding to a midwit. Oh, dude, he's so insulted. But these kinds of guys can't help themselves. They just have to advertise their perceived intellectual superiority. They can't help but be pretentious, pompous assholes. And that's why they have no real influence. They're only talking to themselves. To which James Lindsay replies, you're a midwit, Matt. And you can see by the disparity between the likes that James is not on the popular side of this argument. Matt responds, James is very concerned about tribalism. James also wants you to know that anyone who doesn't agree with his very specific brand of liberalism is a midwit.
James Lindsay the liberal.
Yep.
True, that's exactly what it is. I am a very big-brained political understander, Matt Walsh. Woo!
A racist, or both. James, the brilliant thinker and astute analyst, does not notice the contradiction here. Ugh, I love this catfight. It reads like a spat between two scorned lovers. Lindsay replies, Matt, I'm literally the only one here who sacrificed his tribe to tell the truth. You're projecting. And finally, Matt responds with, you sacrificed your tribe and formed a new and smaller one, and now you viciously attack anyone outside of it. I have no problem with that in principle, by the way, because everyone is tribal. It's in human nature. Like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? It's just that some people, like you, pretend to have transcribed that behavior even as you exhibit it. Unfortunately, this little conversation did not mend the differences between these two titans of philosophy. They're arguing about a term that they don't even understand. They've gotten so into the weeds that everyone is lost. The word
True, Kieran, true. Thank you for resubscribing with Prime.
Nice.
woke has been so distorted from its original meaning that it's starting to not even sound like the same word. Matt Lewis, who is a Daily Beast contributor and conservative Trump critic, said it's plausible that this is totally organic. If you hire a bunch of people who have a certain worldview, racism, don't be surprised when they act consistent to that worldview. They're going to try to claim the scalp of any guy who is too mainstream for their taste and not like red-pilled. I think that's the term for woke on the right.
Literally, that's exactly what it is. Woke has always been anyone vaguely to the left of me.
Always, yeah.
Yeah. Like there are people, unfortunately, on the far left who will call anyone vaguely to the right of them liberal. Or indeed social fascist or some absurd nonsense. Whereas actually what I am is a capitalist whore. Which is why you should give me money. And if you give me money now on the Twitches, we get onto a hype train. and that will make me aroused.
But woke isn't the same as red pilling. Red pilling means to actively engage in extreme right-wing politics. They want woke to be the opposite of red pilling so that they can make reading and understanding racial history in this country the same as extreme white supremacy and anti-Semitism. It's insidious, but it's effective. And I'm so glad that they're starting to target each other with this wordplay bullshit now, too. I'm Tony Hinderman with Really American, and I'll catch you next time.
So, I thought you'd enjoy that.
Yeah. Yeah, I do like a cat fight on the right. That is good.
Yeah, I do too.
And it's good to see that James Lindsay's still alive. Actually, that's not true. I'm not going to lie about that. That wasn't good to see that he's alive. Not that I'm saying I wish he was dead. Just if he were dead, that would be funny.
Hello, everyone.
Oh, pause this.
My name is...
So Evie talks a little bit slowly. You might want to 1, 2, 5 this. Also, do you know about this latest shit from
To
JK
quote the
Rowling?
movie, a Christmas story, not a finger. Ooh, kitty bonk.
Hang on. Sorry, Christy, you were saying.
Oh yeah. Do you know about the latest JK Rowling bigotry?
Which particular the thing about the Supreme Court decision and all
No,
that?
asexuality.
Oh, okay, no, right.
Okay, well, okay, so this is we kind of skip the background of it. If you want to scroll down a little bit, I think there a more where you can. Oh, she doesn't. Okay, you kind of have to maybe scrub a little bit to about halfway through the video because she goes through the whole background of her transphobia. But to get to the I think it's after the whatever that ad.
We'll just play it.
Okay, all right, but like I said, you might want to 1, 2, 5 it. Just
Yeah,
FYI.
I have.
Okay.
Thank you to Way with a Story. It says, to quote the movie A Christmas Story, not a finger, ooh, kitty bonk. What? I don't know what the fuck that means, but I appreciate you and your existence. And I looked at the camera that isn't even on. Fuck my life. Anyway, we're on a hype train, everyone. If we get to level 2 of the hype train, I will finger the Conservative Party because it's dead. It's dead.
Hello, everyone. My name is Evie Lupine. Welcome back to my channel, and today I have another video for you all, and unfortunately, I am breaking my promise not to cover any allegations or social media stories for the next few weeks, but I think it's for a good reason, because I want to talk about JK Rowling finding a new target, the asexual community, because for some reason, once again, the rad femmes and the far right aligning on an issue has something to do with who I am as a person. Splendid. So, what happened? And first of all, I don't want to assume that my audience knows what's been going on with JK Rowling for what feels like forever now. There's a chance that a lot of you still only know her as the author of Harry Potter, and that's it. And if you're one of those people...
No, I know her mainly from being the first clinical case of mold insanity. The mold has taken over her.
I am sorry to burst your bubble, and God, I wish I had your life. I am not going to be going over every tiny detail. Other YouTubers have covered her descent into madness in depth, and I don't need to repeat their work. But if you're curious, I have a few of them linked down below. But to make a very long story short, in between telling people on Twitter that Hogwarts did have Jewish wizards, one to be exact, named Goldstein.
Anthony Goldstein.
Yep.
I mean, that is a traditionally Jewish name.
Mm-hmm. So progressive.
Yeah. And it also had an Irishman, Potato O Car Bomb. Fact.
And announcing to audiences that Dumbledore had secretly been gay this whole time, Rowling slipped and fell all the way down the trans-exclusionary radical feminist pipeline. Her trip began innocently enough with her liking the odd tweet or following a feminist with controversial viewpoints, but things really ramped up between December 2019 and June 2020, during which time she publicly defended openly anti-trans people and showed ire for the phrase people who menstruate, among other issues. It was at this time that she tweeted the now...
Honestly, she is the most annoying bonus hole. Seriously, she is. Come on. What a terrible birthing person.
Infamous statement, dress however you please, call yourself whatever you like, sleep with any consenting adult who'll have you, live your best life in peace and security. And I could...
Who'll have you?
Yeah, yeah.
It's such a weird and gross way of putting that.
Yeah.
God almighty.
Spend an entire video outlining exactly why that statement feels so icky, but I'll keep it short and sweet. If it doesn't seem obvious to you, the phrasing she chose reeks of the same faux acceptance you often hear from low-tier homophobes. You know, I mean, gay people are fine, they just need to keep to themselves and do their PDA at home. I don't want to be forced to look at that, you know? But all of that totally flew over the head of JK Rowling. I am sure the isolation and disruption of the COVID-19 pandemic and all the conspiratorial thinking that generated did not help any, because she, like many of us, was stuck inside arguing with people on Twitter all day, which rarely leads to anything positive for your mental health. I mean, she would have had enough money to fly off to a private island she bought for herself until lockdowns ended, unlike 99.8% of humanity, but you know, stars, they're just like us. In any case, her condition didn't seem to improve once lockdown restrictions ended. If anything, she's only worsened over the last several years. In 2022, she published a book in which a YouTube creator is smeared with claims of transphobia in an intentional attack. Right? What you know, I guess. Rowling has never once meaningfully changed her views or apologized, and has only ever doubled down. She's scarcely better than television writer turned online harassment factory Graham Linehan, who shares much, if not all, of her anti-trans views.
Yep,
Did we ever learn whether he got a replacement for the cheese grater?
I don't know.
Or has he just had to have sliced cheese all this time? Think of the flavour that he has lost in his cheese sandwiches because of this, Christo. His wife's a monster.
Sad.
Sorry, ex-wife.
So sad.
Lol.
Views. To have Rowling tell it, though, she's doing all this for a very important reason. She's afraid for women's safety. Cis women. Real women, that is. She doesn't want women to be erased, so terms like people who menstruate or breastfeeding people are offensive to her. Never mind the fact that those terms also help to make distinctions between different types of cis women as well. She's concerned about losing butch lesbians because, as a straight woman, she knows that lesbians are in a crisis and the trans agenda...
Well, it's interesting that the new toilet bans will largely affect butch lesbians. Because it will be butch lesbians, cis women, who will be challenged because they don't meet these stereotypical feminine gender norms.
Yep.
Watch out in the near future for homophobes, largely, I think, and misogynists, to physically assault butch lesbians for wanting to go for a piss.
Making women so safe.
Yep.
Is stealing precious butch lifeblood from the lesbian mafia. And I wouldn't be the first to make a connection between Rowling's transphobia and...
Oh yeah, there is an update on Glenna, yeah. Gender critical, lol. Campaigner Graham Linehan charged with harassment and criminal damage.
Oh, well, there you go. Adding to the criminality, him, Lawrence Fox, who else is going to jail? Tommy Robinson. Count Dankula, he just got fined, right? He didn't go to jail. Did he go to jail?
No, he got fined, didn't he? Yeah. I don't know if he ever had to pay anything. I don't know. Anyway, Linehan took to X over the weekend to share that the allegations relate to an incident at the Battle of Ideas conference in London in October last year. As reported by ITV, the Crown Prosecution Service confirmed 56-year-old Linehan has been charged with harassment without violence and criminal damage. She is due to appear in Westminster Magistrates Court on the 12th of May. Oh, well, there you go.
Okay.
Yeah. Piece of trash.
Yep.
And her status as a survivor of SA and DV, Rowling herself has made that connection, albeit from a different angle than I would take it. She's ardently defended the need for strict single-sex spaces and fears that compromising on the idea that natal vagina equal woman will cause women to no longer be...
I don't think I went over it, someone's asked me, did you go over Linehan getting pissy about JKR wasn't praising him? Well, she literally doesn't talk to him. She's got him, like, banned or whatever. So whenever, like, the transphobes, like, hook them together on Twitter, it's like, oh, at JK Rowling and at Graham Linehan. Thank you for your work. And then Linehan will write underneath, JKR doesn't talk to me. It's very sad. He doesn't even have friends amongst TERFs. He stole a 17-year-old's phone. He sexually harassed that 17-year-old, and the 17-year-old was just literally standing there protesting him. That was it. What a lovely chap.
be able to work together as a unified class. That
Was that him also protecting women, was it? The
Yeah.
harassment of a 17-year-old. Good.
allowing cis and trans women to be included together as women will alienate cis women and put them in more unsafe positions for some reason.
Hi everyone, this is Editing Evie popping in to tell you all about today's sponsor, Beducated.
No,
we
I
have talked
don't
about
think
them on the
so.
run. Let's Renee's my dirty partner on. It's full
Yeah,
of class
this
of
is-
other class. You can use pass for me back guaranteed and now
cis men
video.
That is,
And a large-
that is a long-ass advert.
Yep, I
God
agree.
bless her.
That's why I said to skip it.
number of TERFs are cis women with a trauma history involving cis men. It's something I've run into
Yeah,
time and time.
because cis men are literally the problem. It's always the cis men that are the fucking problem.
Yeah.
What they've done is taken a non-issue, which is trans people going for a shit, and made it a problem now, where we're going to have what, fucking dick checks at the door.
Basically.
It's
Yeah,
not, it was
everyone's
not,
gonna have to
never an
flash the gun,
issue.
though.
You've made this into an issue and made women less safe. Because it's going to be mostly cis women that are going to be quote-unquote clocked and physically assaulted and thrown out of toilets.
Time again, people who have been harmed, in an effort to keep themselves and others safe, will come up with all kinds of rules to attempt to avoid further harm. And they simply cannot accept the idea that trans women are not just sneaky men attempting to find new ways to access their spaces for predatory gain. Are there trans women who are predatory? Yes. Are there cis women who are predatory? Absolutely yes. And yet, I do not think we should deny marginalized people access to care as a group because somewhere out there is a trans prison inmate who assaulted another inmate, as one example. But again, I could go on and on and on and on about all that stuff. There are literally years of her tweets to comb through, should one be so inclined, which I am very much not. So that's basically what y'all need to know about JK Rowling as she is today. The famed children's author has spent the last half-decade supporting anti-trans rhetoric, all while alienating herself from a large portion of her previous fan base and many, many of the actors and professionals who helped bring her words to life. But as could easily be predicted by anyone who had been half paying attention, JK Rowling wouldn't solely focus her rage against trans people for long. Oh, no, no, no. Her
What is the bricks? Protect the bricks.
I don't know.
Is that a phrase that I should be aware of? I don't know. But I'm afraid to ask, Christo. But luckily, this isn't broadcasting, so no one will have heard this. It's fine.
Eye of Sauron has now turned, predictably, to the asexual community. On April 6th, which is International Asexuality Day, JK Rowling posted a photo promoting awareness of the event. She included her thoughts above the photo, which read, quote, "Happy International Fake Oppression Day to everyone who wants complete strangers to know they don't fancy a shag and just..."
By the way, that's not what asexuality means.
Yep, of course not.
Like, I've known asexuals,
Yeah.
and they
Mhm.
fucked. It wasn't because, to quote one of them, I might not be necessarily attracted to everybody, but I do enjoy to not. Yeah. Yeah, that's like a physical need that people still have.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Like, oh, no, not just that, but like, your entire bit is, I've got a pussy, therefore I'm a woman. So when you say, like, Happy International Women's Day, J.K. Rowling, is that you doing fake oppression? Telling me about your minge?
Mm-hmm.
No, it's just, it's Happy International Women's Day. Why do you feel the need to shit on asexual people? Why are they the problem? You fucking evil little goblin.
Whew, you can put whatever cute little British spin you want on that, but ugh, yikes. It is worth noting that nothing in the photo she shared, nor anything in the wider mission statement for International Asexuality Day, includes anything about oppression, or even so much as a
Bricks is easily clocked trans women. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, yeah, protect them, yeah, protect the people. Yes. Go on, sorry.
desire to have asexuality recognized on a wide scale as a marginalized group. The photo she posted gave only a pretty standard definition of asexuality, that is, when people experience little to no sexual attraction. And the goals of the event are advocacy, celebration, education, and solidarity, not, as JK Rowling would have you believe, we are the most oppressed group of all time, please.
Oh, this is exactly what I said was going to happen. Women say Boston Hotel Is that Boston, Lincolnshire, or Boston in America? That's America, okay. Women say Boston hotel guard told her to leave the bathroom because she was, quote, a man. Same-sex couple says they were appalled after being confronted and wrongfully accused in a women's restroom, or even restroom. Yeah, yeah. So it's gonna rebound on cis women.
Always.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking mad shit. They've made women less safe. Fucking God Almighty, they're evil.
Please throw us the world's biggest pity party on our special day we made up for no reason, or whatever. So, seemingly what happened is that Rowling saw a day that was happening that she wasn't previously aware of, saw it was for some sort of weird sexuality beyond gay or lesbian, and her vision went red as she furiously typed out about all these fake, oppressed, ridiculous people are trying to to her nearly 14.5 million Twitter followers. This is one example of why people see radfems and the alt-right as being aligned, by the way, without missing a...
Because they are!
Uh-huh.
When they see a sexual orientation do literally anything, they jump on it and start reflexively screaming about how...
How long before she starts tweeting out about straight pride?
Oh, you know it's coming.
It's a matter of time. It's a matter of time.
It's just, yeah, TikTok on that one.
Fake or silly or ridiculous it is to the applause of the audience who implicitly agree. One exchange she had with another author, of the boy in the striped pajamas by the way, was particularly troubling. Quote, "This is the problem with lumping everyone who isn't straight into a LGBTQ etc. category. If asexual people don't want sex, good luck to them, but gay people quite like it actually. So why am I?"
Lots of asexual people quite like it as well.
Mm-hmm. Well, because she thinks asexual means without any sexual activity at all, like celibacy.
That's celibacy.
Yes,
yeah.
I know that we have a word for that.
Yeah, that is a different thing. Yes, yeah.
I and other gays thrown in a category with them makes no.
Wow. I mean,
yeah.
Look, I don't know about you, but look, John, mate, I hope they pick you, because you clearly want to be picked, don't you? So I hope they do.
No sense, because I guess cis white gay dudes are the sole arbiters of who is allowed to be in their exclusive club. They
Also, you'd think a guy who wrote a story about the Holocaust would understand the Niemeyer poem about, first they came for the communists and I was not a communist, etc., etc., etc. It's not a massively complicated piece of literature, that one. You think he'd get it, but he's only an author,
obviously own the rights to and are leaders of. But Rowling took it a step further in her response, quote, "Refusing to accept that people who don't like sex belong in the gay category is akin to wanting segregated bathrooms in the 1950s, John, as approximately 1,000 gender activists will inform you once their hands stop literally shaking." And, well, there it is, right? The acceptance of asexuality in public is some kind of psyop by the gender activists that Rowling is so afraid.
I think she means Jews.
Always.
She almost certainly means Jews, right? Sorry, Goldsteins. My bad.
Goldsteins, the
my
Goldsteins,
bad. No, she's very culturally sensitive.
Yes.
So I guess that makes asexuals an acceptable target for public ridicule for some reason. And I spent enough time scrolling through the top replies and quote retweets to tell you that precisely no one of import was comparing this to racial segregation, but condensing a plethora of legitimate...
Let alone the fact that there are hook-nosed goblin bankers in that series as well, which is, is a choice that she made.
Yep.
Criticism into, OMG, I can't believe these radical gender activists are making comparisons to racism, is a tried and true deflection mechanism. I mean, the creator of the name Cho Chang would know a thing or two about racism, I guess, but the angle is, if everything they say is so obviously unhinged as we're making it out to be, you don't have to take anything they say on board at all, right? JK Rowling only wants to hear people agreeing with her, saying things like, everything has its own day now, what'll be next? And I bet they are mostly people.
So she literally did, look, what would be next? So, so straight people get a thing, yeah?
Basically.
I bet they are mostly people who are on SSRIs. So she's fucking Alex Jones now. For those who don't know, SSRIs is selective reuptake, serotonin reuptake
or whatever,
inhibitors. Yeah, which basically it's an antidepressant.
Yeah.
Type of antidepressant, right?
Because there are depressed people who are naturally, there's variation in biology and their chemistry is different, and so they need those chemicals to feel better.
Yeah, maybe, JK, here's a thought. Maybe if evil rich bastards like you didn't bully people, for being asexual, fewer of them would be depressed and need the assistance of antidepressants. Have you considered that? That you are literally creating the problem you are describing?
Yeah.
People who are on SSRIs, or I'd quite like to see an International Day of Nothing Day, a day where absolutely nothing at all is rammed down our throats. I am quite sure that none of the people posting any of this were previously aware of International Asexuality Day, despite the fact it's been going on for 4 years now. You know, yeah, we're really ramming it down people's throats, because that's what asexuals love to do, ram things down people's throats. Sorry, A-spec person, had to make the joke. It was right there. I mean, you know, that's why almost no one knew it existed until JK Rowling came along, right? It's obvious that making someone think for 5 seconds about a thing they haven't heard of before equals forcing it down our throats to some. I could go on and on reading some of the replies Rowling got, and many of them are much nastier than the examples I gave, like breaking YouTube TOS levels of nasty. Rest assured that it's the usual anti-asexual combination of, OMG, why do they insist they're so special, with they're just mentally ill, and other such ilk. And to no one's surprise, Rowling continued to double down on her initial reaction in further responses and comments, saying things like, how do asexual people know whether they're gay or straight, I wonder? Or, how are you supposed to tell what you are if you don't experience sexual attraction?
Wow, so literally not only are you just defined by your genitals, you're now only defined by your sexual attractions. You are, honestly... You need to seek therapy, JK Rowling, because you clearly have a very, very limited view of yourself. Yep. I see you as a full human being. A broken one, to be sure, but a full and rounded human being with thoughts, dreams...
Hopes,
wants,
ambitions,
desires, memories, experiences. But no, apparently you're just a pussy in search of cock. That's it. That's all you think of yourself to be, apparently. Which, you know, is very sad.
Yep.
When people attempted to point out that, no, Rowling and company, asexual people are not just straight people announcing their desire not to have sex in public. And in fact, you can be gay and ace, or bi and ace, or any other combination. I wish she was just a confused boomer asking honest questions about a term she had never heard before, but I think everyone knows by this point that that is not what she is. In her mind, these questions are like a...
Is this real? The Crab Museum of Margate has released a statement following the trans-erasive Supreme Court ruling that the definition of a woman should be based on biological sex. Quote, their ruling centred on the word biology, and what the judge stated biological sex is assumed to be self-explanatory, and to require further explanations at the museum. Speaking in a professional capacity as a museum of biology, this is not how biology works. Yeah, that's true. There are no binaries in nature. Correct.
Exactly.
Yep.
And some people are like, oh yeah, well, intersex people don't count, so it's really like, really? So we just say everyone's right-handed, or nobody has sickle cell anemia? I mean, at what point does a human being, enough human beings exist where you can say they count as human beings that we should consider, or is it just take one?
The only binary that matters, Christy,
one.
is 10001101010101110.
Right, are you spelling something out, or are you just?
No, I'm just doing it's binary.
Okay,
code,
okay.
Isn't it? That's the.
Okay.
I'm doing a joke about it.
Right.
I'm very clever, chat. You should give me money.
Gotcha, like, oh yeah, how can you be ace and gay? Don't you know gay people like to have sex? I know because my butch lesbian friend said so. Stop erasing the inherent sexuality of gay people, but just to be clear, for the members of my audience who do not know about this, we have a beautiful thing called the split attraction model, which helps us explain how sometimes our romantic attraction and our sexual attraction are separate from each other, because the human experience is...
That's me! That's me!
Yeah, that's me. I am... I will stick my dick in anything. Animal, vegetable or mineral, I'll do anything to anything. To quote the Bishop of Bath and Wells.
Yes.
From Blackadder.
Oh, that's right, from Blackadder.
Yeah. But in terms of romantic relationships, I'm only interested in the ladies, really. I'm done with it. The dudes I will hang with and fuck with. But I'm not really into, like, I don't want to be in a relationship with a man. They're a bit gross, in all honesty. Which is okay for a couple of hours, but, you know, after that.
Yeah, then you just have to start cleaning up after them.
I kick them out. Get the fuck out. I've emptied. Leave.
Yeah, well, okay, that was our agreement, right? Like, we would do this and then you'd go. That was
exactly.
my understanding.
Yeah.
You don't want like breakfast.
weird
or anything,
and
right?
wide and
I don't.
wonderful.
I only have eggs.
Yeah, exactly. And as we discussed earlier, I don't need to refrigerate them.
Yes.
Actually, no, I didn't discuss that with you, did I?
No, but you don't. Yeah, Americans do.
Yeah. No, we literally discussed that with No Justice earlier.
Okay.
Because we were talking, it was on Question Time. They were talking about the US-American trade deal and farming and stuff. So eggs came up as a topic, and the Americans in chat were very confused as to why we don't have to refrigerate our eggs.
Because they don't.
Yeah, it's actually to do. Apparently in America they wash and dry the eggs.
Ah, okay.
Removes a layer of protection and can increase the chances of salmonella. Which I'd like. Why do they do that then? What's the purpose of this? I don't know. Anyway.
And our language is only a best guess attempt at trying to capture that complexity. The split attraction model gives us a new way of including more of that complexity into our language, and it doesn't just work for asexual people either. Folks can be bisexual and homoromantic. They can be lesbian and aromantic. There's all sorts of combinations. But instead of thinking of this as a neat and interesting way of solving a very real language gap, it's seen as trying to sanitize queer sexuality. Of course, it's also viewed as a Trojan horse to sneak straight people into that elusive LGBT plus club. Well, LGB, according to Rowling. I mean, honestly, really probably just LG. The only time she's ever mentioned bisexual people, near as I can tell, was 2 years ago when she was referring to the transphobic LGB Alliance. Cool stuff. In any case...
LGB Alliance funded by homophobes in America.
Uh-huh. Fuck 'em.
Literally evangelical Christian lunatics. Yeah. JK, you're rich enough, you could probably buy your red robe now, I reckon. For when they eventually take over, your friends.
Yep.
You're going to need it.
No, asexual people are not just low libido straight people. They have different experiences of the world, and they have a fundamentally different attitude than people with low libidos or sexual disorders. Several studies have noted this, whether it be the frequency of their fantasies, the content of those fantasies, what stimuli they pay attention to, and whether or not they find their feelings towards sex to be distressing. Asexual identity also appears to be relatively stable across the lifespan, as with other orientations, and it also appears to begin forming very early in life. Once again, like other orientations. So no, it is not just people on SSRIs or people with mental health problems. However, I imagine for most people who have a knee-jerk negative attitude towards asexuals, you could put as many studies as you wanted in front of them and they still wouldn't believe it because it's part of a grand conspiracy by the trans cabal or the woke elite run the university system where these studies are from so they can't be trusted or something like that. Again, the comparisons between radfems and the far right just write themselves. And once Rowling started to post about this, it opened the floodgates for others to jump in. After the biggest asexual activist in the UK responded to Rowling, whose name I am not sharing to avoid directing further harassment their way, this invited other people to attack them directly. Quote, "Why would a self-described asexual and aromantic person dress like a total and not only march in, but be the grand marshal of a parade about sexual attraction? It's like an atheist demanding to lead Holy Week procession at the Vatican. Maybe you're just a
Well, I
dumb..."
was just elected Pope.
You were?
Yeah.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, no, it's you know what? It's a big opportunity for me. I appreciate the offer. I mean, I wasn't even in the running. It was a surprise, but you know.
They called you up and you're like, "Are you free?" I'm like, "Well, I don't have anything else going on Friday night, so yeah, sure."
Exactly. They thought, well, we've tried Catholics for ages and it hasn't really worked out. So let's
So
try
we
a
want-
really lapsed motherfucker. Yeah.
Once a Catholic, always a Catholic, we say.
Exactly. You're a Catholic the moment Dad came, to quote the great Monty Python.
Narcissist. I cannot express my exhaustion at the fact that it's barely April, and we're dealing with Pride Month discourse on the back of the words of a woman who is...
Yeah, and it's not even... Oh, that is an amazing still. Honestly, that is an O face right there. Just saying. What was... Oh, fuck, I've totally forgotten what I was going to say. Yeah, we're not even... It's Pride discourse, but we're not even doing, like, bare feet Pride discourse. It's not even as silly as that. It's, like, just grotesque bigotry.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
is objectively not part of any portion of the LGBT plus umbrella. The same activist experienced numerous other instances of harassment thanks to Joanne's post, which she naturally neither noticed nor felt any guilt about for inciting. The tacit message is that people like that deserve the harassment because it might make them shut up as they should. And this, I think, illustrates what is happening so clearly. Just like the last time asexual people were the punching bag of public discourse, the very people declaring asexual people aren't discriminated against, why are those lying weirdo wannabes trying so hard to pretend they're oppressed, are the very people doing the discriminating. You'd think they would be the first to decry the oppression Olympics as being part of the woke mind virus, but they're the ones to invoke it if it allows them to gatekeep a community they aren't even a part of half the time. I don't think it takes a genius to connect the dots and figure out people editing someone's photo to include harassing comments and directly going after them in everything they post shows the kind of vitriol asexual people are faced with online. For some reason, we've decided that the bar takes to
Oh yeah, don't listen to that faker Leo. That's not the real Pope. I'm the real Pope. He's a fucking bullshitter. You know what my papal name is?
What?
Kevin. Because again, they've tried, right, having different names, and again, it hasn't worked. So I'm just going to go with Kevin, who goes by Kevin. Fact. Hey, Lexibat! Fuck yes. Talking of awesome trans people. Hello, Lexibat. Everyone go and follow Lexibat immediately. I'm Kevin Logan, a socialoid in the UK. What's up? Joining me is Christy from Germany. Shitlib from America.
Although I am becoming, well, I was always anti-fascist, but I'm becoming more radicalized as a consequence of,
come the revolution, we might not have to shoot her.
Yeah.
Possibly. Like, I'm not, like, Christy, I don't want you to hold that out like that's a guarantee.
No, like, it's not, I understand. I'll still have to go before the tribunal.
Well, exactly, of course.
It'd be like the Cultural Revolution. What do they do in China when you, like...
well, it was mainly landlords, I think, wasn't it?
You had to, like, wear a sign...
Yeah.
And you had to like go up and like
you
confess your crimes.
Well, I think it'd be a little bit like, you know, the old they made lepers ring a bell. And go, unclean. Yes. It'd be like that, I think. Yeah. Now Christy's awesome. Anyway, everyone go and follow Alexa. Yeah, hello, new people. We're currently watching a thing about ace phobia.
Yeah, because I didn't even realize that people had a problem with ace people.
Like, yeah, like what's the...
What, seriously?
Yeah, like, surely they're the least threatening people ever, right?
Yeah, like, breeders, mind your own business. Like, just go fuck somebody.
Well, she's too busy wrapped up in the mold, isn't she, old JK?
The mold? In her house?
Yeah, what? But no, it's a meme now, isn't it? Yeah, she did a live stream thing from one of the many rooms of her castle. And had all the mold on the fucking walls. So people were taking the piss out of her, like, oh, she's gone crazy because the mold got on her brain.
Amazing.
And then they came up with the nickname Moldemort.
The internet.
Which, internet remains undefeated. Indeed.
Yes.
Care about a group's well-being is extremely high. If you are not being hunted for sport on an island or being beaten in the town square, you aren't really being oppressed or mistreated. So saith I, the rich, straight white lady. As I've explained ad nauseum before.
It's the Piers Morgan thing that we discussed earlier, right? If you're out there screaming the N-word, that's racist. But anything else is basically fine. Yeah.
Oppression points are not the best way to measure whether or not a group belongs under the LGBT plus umbrella. Rich, white, cis, gay dudes living in the Bay Area are less oppressed than trans women living in Brazil. So should we eliminate white, cis, gays from that umbrella? No, of course not, because that would be ridiculous. Not to mention, it's not durable if your goal is ultimately to end that oppression, right? Discrimination, bias, hatred, and oppression can also operate on a much smaller scale and still be impactful. And we should factor into our calculations that very few people are aware that asexuality even exists and have to discriminate against it. Exhibit A, see all of the people groaning and rolling their eyes at JK's post like asexuality popped out of the snow yesterday and is totally made up. But when they do find out, the pitchforks come out instantly. As Rowling dismissively says, quote, people are still killed for being gay in a lot of countries, but straight people who don't fancy a quickie are being literally ignored to death. It really sounds like she's saying asexuals deserve whatever comes to them.
Because only straight people can be asexual.
Well, literally, she's doing the compet thing, isn't she?
What? Compet?
Compulsory heterosexuality.
Yeah.
That it's like the default.
The default, yeah. Yes, exactly. I mean, because again, as we talked about it, asexuality doesn't mean celibacy.
Nope.
You could have pan people, bi people. You know, like it's the idea that only straight people. It's just such a heterosexual centered for being like supposed allies of lesbians. She is awfully heteronormative.
Yep.
For complaining about being ignored too loudly, as though that's the point of the thing that she posted to begin with. And next up, I would like to address what the science shows about implicit attitudes towards asexual people and some of the real-world experiences ace people have. But before I do that, there's one little side note that's kind of been bugging me. You see, the post Rowling shared was not originally on Twitter. The account she took the photo from, Switchboard, is a phone support line that hasn't been active on the platform since last September. So what happened is, seemingly, Rowling got so mad seeing a milquetoast social media post from an organization that has under 20,000 followers on its biggest platform that she had to repost it to Twitter to rant about it too. Again, about...
Oh, God, again, as with Elon having not tried ice cream or whatever, you are so rich and powerful, and yet you spend your days amongst your mold-filled castle, desperately trying to bully different sexual groups. What the fuck is wrong with you? 100%. Go enjoy your life. You could literally go to the south of France and coke yourself to death, if that's what you wanted to do, and anything in between. Like, you can do anything. You have all the money in the world, and this is how you spend your time. It's pathetically sad. Again, money is wasted on the rich.
By the way, my rear end, we're going to get to corrective R here in a second. You're just anticipating the content. Yeah. So
I suppose content warning for that then.
Yeah. I mean, she just mentions it as a thing that happens to people, just like gay people have it. Asexuals. Yeah. So yes, also have had that happen to them. Yeah.
Indeed.
14.5 million people. But yeah, it's asexuals who are begging for attention. If merely raising awareness about the existence of asexuality brings up this much hatred, imagine how much worse it would be if, say, the biggest public transphobe in the world made anti-asexuality advocacy her next big thing. It has the vibe of...
To be fair, I think Elon probably takes that title, doesn't he?
He is the weird dude with... It's not even a breeder kink. It's a eugenics. Or no, what was that? Natal, like what the Nazis did. Yeah, but like a racial natalism.
Yeah.
I kind of like But
he's, really I'd say he's the most famous transphobe.
Yeah. Well, he's I don't know, because he got in the game kind of late. I think Rowling's kind of cornered that market. He's his transphobia is based on cating his kid, so it's a different.
True, yes. So okay, well I suppose it depends then. When we say world's most famous transphobe, is it world's most famous person who is a transphobe, or person who is most famous around the world for being a transphobe?
I was thinking it'd be the second, because everybody knows about Harry Potter, and if you do any research into her, eventually you're going to come across her transphobia.
Yeah.
So, I mean, when you have the cast shitting on you for years, and David getting into fights with David Tennant.
Yeah, again, don't attack Doctor Who. You can't win that.
Nope.
Like, oh yeah, you aren't being discriminated against. We don't even know you exist. But trust me, if we did, we would make you shut up and stop complaining. But yeah, just a little side note there. JK seemingly got herself in a tizzy because a phone support line showed support for one of the groups it supports. Yeah. They are really just shoving it in people's faces with that single banal infographic. Anyway, let's get to the science. Is it fair to say that asexuality constitutes a marginalized group if that's the yardstick we're using to determine whether or not people are allowed to be part of the LGBT plus umbrella or have an awareness day dedicated to them? Well, for one, there's how the notoriously homophobic Russian government treats ace people. They are considered to be part of the LGBT plus extremist group by the government there.
True. I appreciate that she's going through like a more rigorous examination of this to prove the point.
Yeah.
But basically... they get to be part of the umbrella because everyone else is like, yeah, they're part of the umbrella. Like, again, we've been through this. The most supportive group in society for trans people are cis lesbians. They're actually more supportive of trans people than trans people, apparently. Like, statistically, in terms of, like, rights and all that shit when polled. Which means there must be a significant number of pick-me's, I think, amongst the trans community, unfortunately. Very sad. Yeah, so basically, they get to be part of the group because fuck you, Rowling, that's why.
Yeah.
But I appreciate that she's going to be a bit more thorough.
Thus, they are subject to severe legal...
Go on, sorry?
Evie's good people.
Yeah, she seems that way. Yeah,
she's absolutely a sweetheart, and you can go watch her stuff. She does a lot of stuff on kink education.
I will drop a little cheeky subscribe on her.
Ah, nice.
Nice.
Discrimination, including the threat of over a decade of jail time. In the West, over 25% of asexual people report experiencing workplace harassment. Over 30% report experiencing harassment, abuse, or controlling behavior at home. Both of these numbers track with the frequency reported by bisexual, queer, and pansexual folks. And as the ace couple has thoroughly documented on their podcast, asexual people are frequently subjected to marital and medical discrimination. Nearly half of the states have some kind of marital consummation law, which threatens to invalidate asexual marriages. Asexual people are often subjected to unnecessary medical procedures, such as unnecessary pregnancy tests, STI blood draws, and/or denial of certain medications due to medical professionals refusing to believe any adult human being could genuinely abstain from sex, especially within a marriage. About 8.5% of asexual people reported experiencing an incident along these lines personally. Gynecological and urological issues are dismissed as having simple sexual origins, even when the patient attests to their lack of sexual contact, causing issues to progress while being left untreated. And historically, asexuality has been subject to significant medicalization, with it being compared to hypoactive desire disorder and seen as a defect that needs and in fact, nay, requires some kind of medical cure. This can also include the use of conversion therapy against ace people, which over 10% of asexual people have been reportedly subject to, compared to, by the way, 7.5% of gay people. And anecdotally...
So, literally, they are repressed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I can tell you that asexual people face corrective rape in significant numbers. I am not going to sugarcoat it. That's what it is. We don't yet have any studies to put a number to this figure, but like other marginalized people, asexual people are assaulted for the sake of correcting their non-normative behavior. This applies to asexual people across the gender and romantic orientation spectrum, by the way. I personally know no less than a half dozen asexual people who were assaulted by a partner or acquaintance because of their identity. I know anecdotal evidence isn't worth much, but that is all we have for now. And these are just the explicit actions asexual people are subject to. Studies have also shown that people, both queer and cishet, have an implicit bias against asexual people, with asexual people viewed as less human and less reliable. People were also less willing to hire an asexual person for a job, less willing to want to rent to them, to have them as a roommate, and less likely to want general social contact with them. All of this amounts to asexual people being seen as other and alien by both queer and cishet people, and generating the kind of social isolation.
That's really sad. That's really sad.
Right? Well, this is why when I saw this video, I thought asexuality and asexual people, I mean, I have friends who are asexual, and they're so invisible, you know? And this idea that she's going to go out, like, Rowling's is going to go after people for this, or Rowling, I forgot, I think maybe I had an S.
She's a piece of shit. You don't look, if she's not going to fucking gender people correctly, you don't have to pronounce her name correctly.
Yeah, fair enough. And I just felt, you know, this is a community that is often overlooked anyway, and so we should raise awareness of this and some of these issues on the show. So yeah, that's why I put it in the list.
Yeah.
Which may be contributing to the poor mental health outcomes of asexual people when compared to both their heterosexual and queer counterparts. I imagine that some may take this as proof that asexual people are asexual because they are depressed and are on SSRI medication, but no study we have has shown the...
I mean, even if that were true, so...
Yeah, exactly.
Like, they're still human beings and they're not hurting you. Why the fuck do you care?
Yeah. We really need to get this away from the idea that because something is typical, everyone has to be... And we call typical, or the modal category, normal. Yeah. And if you're not normal, you need to be normal.
And
how
not
about
just that, but you need...
letting people be their fucking selves? Like, stop trying to control everything. Let people be people.
Exactly, yeah. Like, you need to justify yourself to JK Rowling. Like,
yeah.
No, fuck you. Even if these people are literally only that way because of the SSRIs, so what? That's got fuck all to do with you. You fucking weirdo. Why? Like, it's got nothing. It's not an issue for you. It doesn't hurt you or affect you in any way whatsoever. So leave them the fuck alone, you bullying piece of shit.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly think for maybe some asexual people, monasteries and nunneries were a way out of otherwise really forced into marriage.
Yeah, that's,
you know,
true,
so
you know?
The idea that, you know, like asexuality is a new thing or it's just a consequence of SSRIs just seems insane to me.
Yeah, we know that people have taken lifelong vows of chastity because they're married to Jeebus.
Yeah, or Buddhism, like there are Buddhists, or like gurus in India who also just abstain from that. Like sometimes, people have like again, everything's a spectrum, bell curve. From nothing, it's everywhere in there. In terms of
spectrums are confusing. Why can't it just be like just straight?
Why can't everyone be the same?
Yeah.
The correlation runs that direction. It's the fear of being outed, misunderstood, and socially rejected that seems to cause the poor mental health we see in asexual people. When you stop and consider the roots of discrimination against asexuality, none of these findings are at all surprising, and much of it goes back to society's fixation on sex. Be that the liberal sex at dawn types who harp on about how sexuality is fundamental to all human nature and to deny that is to deny being human, or the conservatives who believe marriage is the physical and spiritual...
quite literally asexual for Jesus, they already would have been inculcated within religious belief because that was just like almost unanimous back in the day, hundreds of years ago, and so many of them would have joined monasteries or nunneries or whatever as a way of essentially, like you say, getting out of the necessity for having to engage in marriage, and there was no birth control, so if you get married you're almost certainly going to get pregnant at some point. And they don't want that shit, so you become a nun. That's fine. That's it's probably a way higher percentage than we would ever A, know, and B, they would be very surprising as well.
Spiritual union of one man and one woman in holy matrimony. Anyone who has spent any length of time around fundamentalists knows that they love talking about and especially policing sex. On the one hand, demonizing sex as this horrible, sinful thing, or even thinking about it can send you straight to hell, and on the other, praising it as God's great gift to man and woman. Through this, the married couple, but especially the woman, is able to fulfill their one true job on this earth, having more babies to be part of God's holy army against Satan. Even non-asexual people who grow up in fundamentalism are hit by expectational whiplash, suddenly going from pure virginal maidens to wives who are expected to fulfill their husband's sexual whims for the sake of procreation. Or indeed, on the other side, if they're the man, they're expected to be a virile head of house who can't keep his hands off his wife because, that's the Holy Spirit moving through you to do God's will and boink or something like that. And as I've discussed in videos before, deviation from this formula is aberrant to conservative Christians. If you are not a cis-het white Protestant Christian in a properly godly marriage, you are doing life wrong. If you do not fit this mold, you should be expected to step aside for those who do follow God's righteous one true path. As Dr. Canton Weiner explained on Twitter, a union between anti-trans and anti-asexual beliefs is therefore predictable. Quote, your gender is rigid, assigned at birth, and natural. You don't have agency over it. Thus, the attacks on trans healthcare and participation...
he's... I don't know if it's he, whatever. They are, I think, correct here. But I think it goes beyond that. I think bigotry begets more bigotry. I've never experienced knowing someone who's like super cool and chill in every other way but is homophobic or is just racist. Like if you're racist, you're probably homophobic, you're probably transphobic, you're probably just whatever. Like once you've opened yourself up to that like hideous bigotry, your entire worldview is predicated around the idea of that hierarchy being absolutely fine, and so why wouldn't there be others?
Participation in public life. Under fascism, a central role of women is to provide sex and children. That's women's natural role. One of the men's natural roles under fascism is to sire children. Thus, the attacks on asexual people. Asexual people are viewed, as we have already established, as alien, inhuman, and even animal-like by non-ace people, whether they be so-called liberal radical feminists or conservatives. It's all the same to them. You are denying biological reality and deserve whatever punishment is necessary to get you to stop denying that biological reality. Anything seen as unnatural must be stomped out before it infects the real, true, pure way of living we are meant to.
And infect is the thing, isn't it? Because it's this whole thing about, what's it called again? Contagion. Social contagion, right?
Yeah, if you start to promote equality and tolerance.
Yeah,
it might spread.
That can't be allowed to happen.
Well, Elon Musk said the greatest weakness of human society was empathy or something like that.
True, but... Yeah, I think something like that. And then a week later was like, why is everyone mean to me? Well, we wouldn't want to be weak. and show you compassion. No,
yeah, he was like, oh, I thought the left was supposed to be about empathy. Yeah, for the people who you're shitting on, you powerful, rich piece of shit.
True.
Have.
You know, come the revolution, I've got hope for you. There's hope there.
It doesn't take much of a reach to imagine that JK Rowling believes similar things about asexual youths as she does about trans youths. That they don't exist, and pretending they do is playing along with a dangerous fantasy that could ruin their lives forever. That asexuality is coaching sexually normal but low libido teens into denying their humanity so they can run away from mainstream society and enjoy, again, the trans cabal or whatever. She hasn't said as much yet, but mark my words, if she continues down her anti-asexual path, which I believe she will, words like this are sure to come out of her skinny little fingers. And I would know, because, I mean, look at mine, right? And at the end of the day, it's a very simple question. If asexuals are merely being ignored out of existence, as Rowling sarcastically put it, why is it whenever the term comes up, the public instantly has a meltdown about it until they believe they've shamed the yucky...
Oh, Maria, that's a delightful comedic bit. But I'm going to say you probably mean this honestly, I think. I personally get confused when I'm asked if I think someone is hot, because in my mind I reflexively think of temperature. Hashtag ace problems, I guess. I don't know. Oh, bless you. That's lovely.
Weird, self-important asexuals into silence. Because that sounds to me like they aren't so much being ignored as being compelled into either hiding or assimilation.
Yep.
And what do we call it when that happens? Yeah, I think there's your answer. All right, y'all. Last minute breaking update to this story. I saw a tweet earlier today, and I at first did not know what she meant by this, and then I learned, and I was disgusted and horrified, and I don't want to make a whole other video about it, so we're including it here at the end. JK Rowling quote tweeted somebody who said, I'm guessing none of the big posh papers have covered JK Rowling turning on asexuals. And JK said in response, all these years, and I had no idea I was the cure.
Whoa.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, corrective bullying, I guess?
Mm-hmm.
Which, again, that does sound a little bit like discrimination.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like you're being a dick.
Yeah.
And my little brain was... this is possibly the most asexual thing that could have happened in this scenario. I read that and I was like, what does she mean by that? The cure to what? What is she talking about? And it's a double entendre with turn on, where she's talking about her turning on asexuals and her being the cure for asexuals not being turned on, and do you hear yourself? Do you hear the words that are coming out of your skinny little fingers? What is this? I was disgusted. I was horrified. I just simply do not understand why she thinks that is in any way an acceptable thing to say.
It's not.
Literally just saying asexual people are people...
She's literally just a piece of shit. Like, you don't have to think about it any more than that. She's literally just awful.
That have problems being turned on, and that she cured them. Just, it's so gross. I'm not shocked. Like, I've seen what she said about trans people for like 5 years, so this is not new. New target, though, and... Like, could you imagine if somebody said that about her, that like they were the cure for JK Rowling being turned on? She would have a conniption. She would have a hissy fit. She would have a meltdown. But you can say it about a whole group of people that you're trying to ridicule in public, and then it's fine. As a joke. As a little treat. Okay. I think there was one more point that I saw somebody else make on Twitter about this that I want to bring up as well. Because if you are, for some reason, a rad femme, and you're listening to this, or just anybody, and you care about the state of the world and things being better for women and queer people, this is what you have to be aware of. JK Rowling and or the people who are like puppeteering around her to make sure she gets enraged like a caged dragon, they are trying to divide and conquer. As JK Rowling says, presumably, she is concerned about women not being able to be unified as a political bloc to advocate for their own needs. In reality, what's happening is they are trying to break apart the political bloc of queer people by getting them to turn on each other. Mm-hmm. I have seen this both with ace people who like kind of agree with JK Rowling, who are like, yeah, you're right, we don't need a date to be in public. That's weird, which is like, just because you personally don't want it doesn't mean other people don't benefit from that. Quiet. Just maybe keep that thought inside. And more than that, it's that people, like you saw, like there were multiple quotes I gave, I think today, from gay men who were like, yeah, what those weird asexual people, what's up with that? And like, you don't get to choose who's in your club, dude. Not your club. But like, the point is to get people to turn and be like, oh, trans people, oh, asexuals, oh, bisexuals. Let's all like divide them up and make it so they're all infighting. So meanwhile, we can like make it illegal to like be openly trans as an adult in America or whatever. Like, it's just a distraction from the actual real harms that could be happening. And it's
you raise an interesting question in chat there, Phil, who says, I wonder if she cares about the fact that most people will celebrate when she finally fucks off to the hereafter, way later than preferable. And this is the thing. The conspiracy theorists, and that's what transphobes are, they're conspiracy theorists, right? They're, for the most part anyway, they believe in this thing, you know, there's the trans mafia that's trying to trans the kids, and trans, right? When people hate them, they don't see that as a sign that they might be wrong. It's self-reinforcing. It's one of the defense mechanisms that conspiracy theorists build up around themselves. It's the fact that they're so hated.
It's proof of their rightness.
Yeah, it's proof that they're right. And of course, the people that survive her, that believe the same fucking shit, will be like, see, look, the evil trans is celebrating the death of an innocent human being.
Mm-hmm.
Like, suck all of the dicks, you fucking gobshites.
It's the oldest trick in the book, divide and conquer. Realize it's happening, folks. That's all I really have to say for this today. This is a doozy. Hope that you all liked being informed about this, because I know that I'm approximately one of like 3 YouTubers capable of covering the subject because of all my various intersections. And oh, by the way, I wore a sheer top on purpose as an aspec person when making this video. So if you left a comment calling me because I'm wearing a sheer top, congrats. You figured it out. That is exactly, yep, you got me. This is, good job. All right, people, that's going to be it for today. Thank you all so much for listening to this. If you want to see more from me, I make educational content about...
Before we get off, before we leave this video, can you scroll down a bit? Because she did pin a comment to the top that I think is worth also as a little PPS, because she did the, the weird thing.
Well, I will also just... pop a link in both of the chitty chat.
Oh yeah. Evie, good folk. Evie's very good people and a great advocate and educator
about things and that.
Yep.
What did you want to?
Just scroll down to the top comment, because she it's the yes. Can you read that out?
Which one?
It should be from Evie.
The thing she pinned. Okay, so the photo was posted after I filmed this, but can we please talk about how JK Rowling has adopted right-wing aesthetics by doing a smoke a cigar and drinking whiskey bit on a boat? Andrew Tate behaviour for real. Yep.
Yeah, just what a great feminist.
Yeah, that's the thing she was going for. I assume, yeah. What a protector of the ladies.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway.
So a couple more presumably funny ones, and then we'll call it a night. I don't know how you're feeling.
I think I'm done, basically.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Is that okay? Do you want to end on something better? I don't know.
Oh God, yeah. We had a whole article I was gonna read out, but we'll just we'll deal. I guess we'll see if we still want to deal with that next week.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's all right. You had a long day. How long have you been streaming now? For like 3.5 hours, 4 hours?
No, way more than that.
Oh my gosh.
Nearly 6 hours.
Oh my gosh. Well, yeah, definitely it's time for you to leave. You've given the people what they wanted.
You might enjoy the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle related meme.
Gets the people going. Is that how he said it?
Marxist social justice pontiff.
Oh yeah. Did you want to read the poem that I sent you that you fucking lulled at?
What? Hang on.
Yeah, from Dan Molyneux or something like that.
I don't fucking know, Krista.
It's provocative. Gets the people going.
Does it?
Isn't that for the line from that movie that they took for in Paris? Will Ferrell and it's about the ice skating movie. Do you remember what I'm thinking about?
Oh, Blades of Glory.
Yes.
Okay. Oh yeah. Okay.
All right. Did you find the poem?
I did.
Oh, you also can you show it because it might be important. I guess read it out and then show it because you'll have to see who ends the poem.
Yeah. So it's cassocks are red, conclaves are dope. Wake up, babe. We got a woke Marxist pope. Fuck yes. Lovely work. I think.
And that was courtesy of Laura Loomer.
Yeah, Laura Loomer and her pissy bloomers. She took time off from sucking Donald Trump's dick to
do some anti-Catholicism.
Tweet out a bit of weirdness.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure she would argue that she's being pro-Catholicism, real Catholicism.
Yeah.
Not the puffy communism that we've got now.
Like the sexual abuser Catholicism, like the good old days.
But I mean, I did this joke earlier, but I'll do it again. You know who the real winner is in having an American Pope?
No.
Donald Trump. Clearly. Because the only reason they've chosen an American Pope is to get around the 50% Pope tariff. It's the only thing that makes sense, right? It's the massive win for his, what was it called, Liberation Day?
Liberation Day, that went so well.
I mean, China's fucking him and all of that, but
yeah.
American Pope. So...
Yeah, no more Timu. No more Timu in the United States. It's all gone now.
True.
All right, so you want to, now that we've done our poem, you want to wrap it up?
I do want to wrap it up.
Okay.
So what have you got coming up?
D&D, got some D&D coming up. Oh, well, a little bit later because my plumber's coming. Oh no, I don't stream that one. So I guess the Sunday. Well, the Sunday group we might have to figure out what to do with the Sunday group because we've got 2 people who can't attend. Yeah, just go check it out. There's probably some old episodes you can watch.
Probably, I imagine there is. Yeah.
Go look for Rolling Left on Twitch and I think on YouTube as well.
Almost certainly. Yes. Hey, Turn Left's going on YouTube, so I'll send you over there.
Cool.
Go and say hello to Curtis. Who is going on Twitch? Because I don't think they do Twitch, do they? Or do they? I don't know. Tom Nicholas is going, so I'll send you over there. I think. Yeah.
Cute.
I'll send you over to Tom, and yes, I'll be back probably tomorrow. I imagine. I don't.
Yeah, what else?
I don't have any plans really. I'm just, it's Saturday.
It's streaming and sports. It's really
it's playoffs and stuff.
And Hamburg.
And SV Hamburg.
Yeah, we'll see if Cologne gets promoted or stay in the 2nd division this coming up here pretty soon.
Go Billy Goats. I have no idea if that's a chant. I don't know.
I have no idea. It's all in German.
Yeah, so. It is all in German. That is literally true.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yes, everyone go and follow Christy at the various places.
Everybody's feeling warm. I'm just for your background music. It's okay. You keep going. Warm and bright.
It's goodbye from me and goodbye from Rubberdingy Rapids. Say goodbye, Rubberdingy Rapids.
Rubberdingy Rapids.
Did the bit. Bye.